Welcome to BS session 138. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Ronald Reagan. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. George Washington. Revenge is like a rolling stone, which, when a man hath forced up a hill, will return upon him with a greater violence, and break those bones whose sinews gave it motion. Jeremy Taylor.
I'm supposed to press the button right now, aren't I?
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
I was looking at the quotes while you were reading them, and I forgot to press the button.
Okay.
I can turn it whichever way you want, Rooster.
Sorry, I'm getting some help here from the extras crew, trying to sort out audio.
No. Well, you're
so
doing pretty good.
Back so much into the mic. I don't.
So they can hear it as well.
Yeah.
Well, I got one thing to say. Fuck them. They can tune in like every other pleb.
Those are our listeners, Chris.
Well, let me.
Fuck you, Chris.
That was Jens. That was 100% Jens. Hi, Jens.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Evening, Jens.
All right. Let's move past.
Yes, a special shout out to Rob Furlong for hosting the Canadian King of 2 Miles, where our very own Kurt and Jens are hanging out at. And
the comments already that we can't see Kurt. We do know that he's turned off his video because he doesn't have the bandwidth to stream video and audio at the same time. So he's just going to be joining
visually. It's a much better experience now.
Yeah, Kurt is in a location where bovines outnumber people multiple times. So
true.
It's internet infrastructure not so great.
Was that a fat chick joke?
No, that was alluding to the fact that he's in
that he's in cow
Alberta,
country.
surrounded by cows.
Oh, where the buffalo roam.
Oh boy. Hey, should we pay bills before we get into the meat and potatoes of what is going to be a very complicated conversation?
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Who's first?
I'll kick it off here.
All right.
Tonight's featured sponsors are Callsign 66, Canada's best rifle training. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course now at callsign66.ca and follow them on Instagram at callsign66 and on Facebook at C/S66.
And we're also brought to you by Ripstone Gunsmithing, craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ripstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm. Also, Oscar has a new book out titled Rust Blowing in the 21st Century. Find it on Amazon.
Oscar has a moderately new-ish, been out for a little bit book out.
I'm still waiting Rooster. For the follow-up book.
Yeah.
All right, we're here also with March Scopes Canada. The Dion Optical Design line of rifle scopes has a scope for all your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Nisa at marchscopes.ca. Now, the High Master, we want to do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have a write-up for the High Master? Damn it.
Nope.
We forgot about that.
Yep,
okay.
And I forgot all the...
Next time, we have a deeply discounted March High Master. I think it's a... What is it, a 4 to 40? No, 4
5
to
42. 5 to 42.
5 to 42.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry.
By 56.
By 56, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. It's had some love. It was on Kenny, the rifle that the podcast had for a while. It went to a couple of PRS matches and some general targetry. And Doug is discounting deeply. I can't remember the price they're asking for it now.
It's a
Doug's asking for it,
very
but
reasonable discount for sure.
Mhm.
I'm going to rewrite that.
It's something like
ad read for you
$1,300
guys.
or something, isn't it?
Yes, no, it's a little more than that, but it was 30 some odd, I think.
Okay.
But it's still a very good price for a
I meant the
Moonshine
discount.
Master. Oh, yeah,
You bet.
the discount might be like
Anyway,
1,300 something like
Note
that.
to selves: update the damn show notes to include that next week.
Hey, we're also brought to you by Apex Optics. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Check out all the fine competition rifle scopes, red dots, and binos at apexoptics.co. And just a quick note, Apex is tariff proof, if that really matters at this point. Canadian international orders ship direct from their Calgary warehouse, and American orders ship directly from the great state of Texas. No tariffs, no hassle. And that is a March Hunter. Right there. And if I
Apex
move
Hunter.
my big, did I say March Hunter? Jesus Christ!
did.
Mark Hunter.
I've had a couple drinks today. Right
It's a hybrid.
I'm
there,
telling Dan and Carly.
that is an Apex Atom right
Mhm.
there. So there you go.
Nice. And we are also brought to you by EM Precision Rifles in Vegreville, Alberta, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Find Shane and Steve on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca. And if you're at King of 2 Miles, you can probably run into them there as well.
Bolt Action Coffee is next. We're bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
And Odell Engineering, pick up a Canuck shotgun, Bergara rifle, and Apex ammunition from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. Look them up on Instagram, Facebook, and on their website at odellengineeringltd.com.
And finally, Sterling Arms International, home of the R18 Mark III and the R9 Mark I. You'll see them again, don't worry. They may be down, but they are not out. Stay tuned on the latest updates on the battle to get the R9 back.
Hey, just so you know, we also have a draw going on right now for a full custom 338 Lapua built by EM Precision Rifles. It features a Curtis Custom Helix action, a IBI 30-inch stupid heavy barrel fitted with a custom EM Precision muzzle brake, and a special EM Precision branded Trigger Tech Go switch, all laid into a fully custom laminated stock by Rifles Refined. Each $20 entry can be sent to info@bspodcast.ca. Be sure to include your email address and phone number in the comments so we know how to get hold of you once we draw. And we'll draw that when I guess we feel like. But make sure to get in because, hey, guaranteed it's going to be the best $20 338 Lapua you've ever gotten. So
Maybe.
That's a hard sell, maybe. So
I don't know how many $20 338 Lapuas there are out there on the market, but this
There's
one's
not
this
many.
one's in the running for the best.
This one
Yeah.
You
actually
can buy more
works.
than one, too.
yeah,
Spam that idea. It's worked
Actually,
in the past.
we'll bring that up. Mike and I were at the Saprel Regional Finale this weekend, and our sponsor, EM Precision Rifles, so graciously donated a barrel action to be drawn as a fundraiser for the ROs of Saprel. And there was a RO there who spent a good number on tickets. And fortunately for him, he won the barreled action. So
And this anonymous person's name was Mike
I forget
Heineck.
his- No,
wasn't me.
It was an RO.
Oh,
I forget
okay.
the fellow's name, but he spent hundreds of
believe it was
dollars
Mike.
on tickets, and it turned out very well for him because even if you spend $500 on tickets, a barreled action from EM Precision Rifles worth multiple times more. So
Could you like? I can't count though how many times I've seen people spend like several $100s on a draw item, and then it's just like luck of the draw, they don't get drawn. But hey, you know what? It goes. Things go to a good cause too, even if you don't win.
Exactly. He was an RO, so ironically, some of that money would be coming back to him, but that's kind of deserved because it's like you worked for that money, so no issues there. So,
all right, let's get into it.
So yeah, Derek's gun went down at Saprel. We're going to discuss that first.
Oh,
And then he
okay.
got to borrow my other gun and shoot a wonderful EM precision action, and he did quite well on one stage.
I did. I was not prepared by bringing that up, but unfortunately, my rifle went down, and Mike's spare EM precision rifle 6 Creed. He luckily had the rifle and ammo, and I picked it up and was able to finish the match. And that gun held together for me 100%. And the first stage, I came back after my rifle went down, after I had quickly re-zeroed and got dope. I scored a 9 out of 10. I just about cleaned the stage. So,
are you saying you shoot better with other people's guns than you do with your own?
Yes, I did beat Mike with his own gun. Score-wise. So
See, you buried the lead there. The lead was I beat Mike with his own gun.
yes.
The key was it was made by EM Precision, so that's why.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now we bring it full circle.
Yep.
All right. We've been avoiding it. Let's talk about it.
Where to start?
Yeah, where do we start?
Well, obviously the biggest news this week was Charlie Kirk was assassinated earlier this week via rifle from a rooftop in Utah.
So I'm sure that most people know the facts as they're known right now, but we should probably go. Have you guys been following this very closely?
Yes.
I have done a very deep dive as of late.
Yeah. So I'm sure that between all four of us, we can come up with what all the known facts are at the moment. I think, fact the first, he was in the middle of doing one of his tours at the University of Utah. It's just UVU, University of Utah?
Utah Valley University, I believe.
Utah Valley University?
I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So he was shot in the middle of doing that event. He was shot from approximately 200 meters away by a 22-year-old, clearly radicalized nut job who at 22 years old was still living in his parents' house with it seems like it's a Mauser 98 import, like a
30-06.
like a Zastava or Husqvarna or something like that.
Yeah.
Chambered in 30-06 with what?
Yeah, like some modern Mauser, though, right?
Yeah, well, and it also doesn't have the factory stock on it. I mean, you guys would probably know this better than I do, but it looked to me like it was like a Hogue overmolded stocker that was on it. Have you guys seen the photo of the rifle?
I have actually not seen the photo of the rifle.
Yeah,
I'm right out of the loop, like with traveling yesterday and competition today. I haven't seen hardly anything. There's a few people that have sort of seen some new information off Facebook or wherever that I've heard talking, but I'm right out of the loop with anything advanced. I thought I heard at some point today that they actually found the guy now, but I don't know. I did a little bit looking this afternoon, but nothing came up, and reception around here is dodgy at best.
Yeah, I can't remember the douche's name, and I don't really care. But hang on a
So
second.
they did find the guy.
They have who they believe is the guy. I mean, obviously, like it's really complicated. Like, first of all, this is early days. This just happened, and I'm not personally big into the patsy theories at the moment. I don't think there's any evidence for them. I'm not saying that I won't be in the future, but I'm not currently. Here's a picture of the rifle. I mean, to me, that just looks like a Mauser 98, like I say, like a Husqvarna or a Zastava or something like that, in a Hogue overmolded stock or something similar. And Jesus, that's probably like a 3-9 Diamondback or something ridiculous on
Yeah,
it.
it's probably a Vortex.
It could be a Vortex, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, not that this is like super important. We're just kind of going through the facts. I mean, what is confirmed for sure is that it was 30-06, and for anybody who's seen the video, that tracks. I mean, that was my first thought when I saw the video the day that it happened. I was like, that's not a handgun round. That was well beyond a handgun round, and it makes a lot of sense to me that it was a 30-06. I think it's natural for people to speculate, and I'm not going to call them conspiracy theories, but I think it's natural for people to speculate, especially people who don't know shit about guns. People talking about, oh, a sniper must have made that shot, highly precise. And I'm like, no, like some dipshit with a 30-06 that is probably zeroed at 100 meters was probably aiming for his forehead. And at 200 meters, he hit low and just a little bit to the right, which is exactly where Charlie Kirk got hit in the neck. To me, that all makes a lot of sense. This guy
It
apparently
says a lot about how all this this kind of thing goes, right? The speculation and the people sensationalizing shit like this, and it's way simpler than people are making it out to be. This is just the 24-hour news cycle mania kind of thing, right? They people tend to make things fantastic where they shouldn't. You know what, guys, I'm falling behind with looking at the chat stuff, and you looks like he's got some fairly profound things to say. I don't know, do we want to backtrack and address some of these things?
Well, I don't know how much of it I want to respond to at the moment, but I mean, Yuka saying, I can point to you guys tons of highly credible evidence. Want me to send you an email later? Yep, absolutely. Send us an email. Look how far back the scope is mounted. Yeah, it does look mounted a little bit far back. I'm not going to lie. He's saying this is not speculation. I promise. You guys know me. Yep. He was shot from a window through the back of his right ear, stage left, and out through his neck, stage right. I'm not going to say that he wasn't, but that's not what I saw in the various angles that I've seen of the video. Although I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm finding it quite difficult to watch that video. I've seen many Faces of Death videos before. I don't know why I'm having trouble watching that one, but I've been finding it difficult. So I've only watched a couple of different angles of it. But
yeah, that's one thing I will chime in. I did not actually appreciate seeing that pop up on my feed, how graphic it was. So
it's funny you say that. I saw it the exact same way. I wasn't aware of it. I was a bit isolated. I was busy. I was on the mats teaching a class. And then I just happened to scroll through Facebook, and one of the people on my Facebook feed had the original video, the head-on video of the person with the cell phone. And I was like, oh, what's the deal with Charlie Kirk here? And all of a sudden, I was holy shit balls.
Yeah, because I've seen tons of war footage and gore, but that one was really hard to watch. Yeah, I will agree that was not.
Oh, is that right? I haven't.
Not a pleasant thing to see. So
I haven't watched it, and I don't recommend anybody else go watch it.
Yes. So
I actually disagree with that, and so I liken this to my experience at Pearl Harbor and in Hiroshima. I found both of those, like touring the USS Arizona and going through the museum at Hiroshima. I found both of those quite difficult to do. In fact, my wife had to run out crying at Hiroshima, and I'm walking through this museum, and it's constant line of people, like 5 people deep that are going through, or 5 people wide going through like there's thousands of people in this building, and like 80% of them are sobbing. And the Arizona is just so silent and grim, and you're looking down into the water at the ship, and I found both of those quite hard to do. But I think that everybody should do them. I think they're very important. And I think that the fact that the Charlie Kirk video disturbs me so much and obviously others, Derek, you're saying the same. I think it's important to see, it makes it real. It's certainly not fun to watch, that's for sure. But I don't know. I think it's important to experience.
I'm going to disagree a little bit. If you're not prepared to see something bad, don't go looking for it.
Fair point. Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
at least
prepare
give
yourself.
it some time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, watching the life leave someone is not a pleasant thing to see. So,
Nope, it never is. So what other facts do we know here? I mean, we know a little bit about the shooter. We know a little bit about the rifle. We know a little bit about the circumstances and where it happened.
yeah.
What else do we
The
know?
shooter was essentially reported by his own father. His own father saw that, and that was the FBI's person of interest photos, and
Right.
noticed
He
that-
recognized his own son and then confronted him, and then his son apparently essentially admitted it to his father. Or they're saying he insinuated that it may have been him or something like that.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Kid was 22. On the ammunition.
So first of all, stop, because you and Bending both said that, and I vehemently disagree. This is not a child. This man is 22 years old.
Not at all.
He's not a kid.
We got to stop
is-
that bullshit.
Yeah, he is an emotional child, and this is something that I think is symptomatic of the larger problem in our society right now. Is that most adults are still emotional children. People aren't growing up anymore, and part of the evidence of that is that this 22-year-old man is still
allowing
living at home with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not shitting on you, Derek. It probably sounds like I am. I'm not shitting on you or Bending for saying that he was a kid. I just I have a different opinion on that. He and legally he's not. He's 4 years into adulthood. He's almost half a decade into adulthood. But if you look at some of the things that they're saying about, some of the things he was saying online, and the things he was saying to friends and stuff like that have already been reported, it's very, very clear that this person is an emotional child. And Charlie Kirk made a career of debating and arguing with emotional children. And that is the problem in our society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just said kid. He's preferably someone in their 20s. Is still. I understand the implications, but I wasn't implying. That,
no, and
he is innocent. Yeah,
I shouldn't have been so hard point on it
No,
when
that's
you said
fine.
it. Like, I wasn't trying to imply. I know that you know that he's not a kid. I just I overreacted because I've been day drinking today.
No, I will say, I will agree though, because I do believe the story was he also drove it was like a gray Dodge Charger, or I didn't say Charger or Challenger to the event.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's worth condemning him right there anyway.
So obviously this kid, at least whether it was his parents' wealth or his wealth, was not, dirt poor, for sure. So
Yeah, can we talk a minute about, because again, these are kind of like things that are being announced in the news that obviously will be more relevant once a court case starts. But it seems pretty clear that this was premeditated. A lot of people are asking about, well, how did he get it there? How did he not? You got these experts, these gun experts in America talking about how they believe that he folded his gun down and put it in the backpack that he was seen on when he was getting off the roof. Obviously, this is part of the early speculation. This is before the gun was found wrapped up in the bushes. But it does appear, at least, given with some of the information that's been released, he talked about staging the gun beforehand. It appears as though he may have gone a day, 2 days, whatever before and staged the gun. That's something that we saw with the shooter, the first shooter on Donald Trump. He was caught on video scouring the rooftops in the area. It was a day or several days before, something like that. You kind of doing research.
Yep.
So this obviously shows premeditation. And he apparently told people on Discord that, for those who don't know, Discord is just a chat program, that he would discard the rifle in the bushes afterwards. This raises major questions for me. How, in this day and age, when people are talking in this great detail about how they're going to assassinate someone, does this not get reported beforehand? These fucking people are all about, here, look at these screenshots of him saying all these things after he's murdered somebody. But beforehand, it's crickets.
That's the thing. There's so much bullshit, horseshit, people talking tough, keyboard warriors, all that kind of stuff. What do you take for a real threat?
Not only that, but
How
do
do
you ever say
determine-
something in public that you were like, oh, I should have said that thing in front of that person because I didn't know that about them.
But no, Mike, I haven't. I have never talked about how I'm going to stage a rifle on a university campus and how I would dispose of it before assassinating a public figure. So my answer to that is no. I wouldn't.
I mean, not in that specific context, but you can be amongst a group of like-minded people. If you say something and you don't realize that somebody else is not part of that same in-group preference, they wouldn't say anything.
I don't know. I've never been a part of a group, and let's face it, like the gun crowd, they can be pretty vocal in closed circles. I have never, in any of the closed circles that I've been a part of, heard somebody talking about assassinating somebody.
Oh, no, I'm talking about assassin. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
saying
not what
something
Mike's referring
privately
to.
amongst a group.
Okay, sorry.
I'm talking the general idea of if you're among like-minded people, you will speak your mind more consistently as opposed to when there's people that you don't agree with there.
Are you saying
right,
that maybe he was
those
among
same
like-minded people and
people.
that's why they didn't report him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Right.
fuck them. They're
Right.
just as culpable.
Yeah.
So
Like you
birds
can
of
see
a
by
feather
some of the
flock
reaction
together,
from
right?
other people
Yeah.
that there's some interesting takes on the
If
subject.
that guy felt safe enough to actually talk about what he was planning to do, he's going to do it in a place where he
Where he
feels
felt
safe
comfortable.
with like-minded people, like Mike
Mhm.
is saying, and they probably a lot of them feel the same way. Now, the other thing to consider too, you look at some of the reaction from the left. Like I've heard about a bunch of the TikToks going around and people actually celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Mhm.
You know how these kind of social viruses go, where these people get emboldened by these other people that have no fucking regard for life, of people they disagree with, and that's obvious by all these people celebrating this. They don't give a fuck about somebody else's life, especially somebody that they disagree with. They get emboldened. These people that might even that might consider doing something rash like this guy may not have done it if he had if that echo chamber had been smaller. You know what I'm saying? And that sort of that crowd encouragement or whatever you want to say from a whole bunch of people when he's spewing garbage that I'm going to shoot this guy or whatever the hell he said. I have no idea. But doing something radical and people cheering him on, yeah, do it. You're the man, kind of thing, or whatever. I can only imagine. But it's that contagion that often drives people, I think, to these stupid acts, like actions that they would normally not, pardon the phrase, but execute. It's so he's saying this stuff that there was indications, all this kind of stuff, but what echo chamber was he saying it in? And we expected somebody would come out and say, hey, this guy's a little bit of a loon. Motherfucker, you're all loons.
But
So
we're talking about people who did come forward after the fact. We're talking about people that are giving information that are potentially going to
everybody
give him
can
the
be a
death penalty.
hero after they see the shitty stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I suppose
They may not
It's
see
complex.
the possible gravity of the situation before it happens. Only after it happens, they realize, oh, that was actually kind of fucked up.
Well, I
Because we're in a
suppose
chat room, you don't see context when you're in a chat room. You just see text. There, unless you add a couple of smiley faces. Not everyone knows your tone or your voice or what your mind is at while that's happening.
I think that's willful ignorance or willful blindness.
No,
I've been in chat rooms.
Communication is
Is
Yeah, no,
100%
that's
different than texting.
That's
Yeah.
fair, but I've been in chat rooms since IRC was invented in the 1990s, and you can, if you're paying attention, you can tell just as easily as if somebody's there with you. I've been in chat rooms where people have talked about suicide, and people have tried to report it, talk to the person, do stuff about it. I've been in chat rooms where people have talked about homicide and had them reported. I'm very leery to be an apologist for people who stand by and watch, and I also think that it's weird that the Iryna, was it Zarutska? So I don't know her last name. You guys are Ukrainian. How do you say her last name?
Yeah, we got it though. Yeah.
Iryna, the Ukrainian girl. Everybody is vilifying every other person on that bus for standing and watching. But I don't think it's any different.
Iryna Zarutska.
Zarutska, there you go. I don't think it's any different in the digital realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair, but I think we either have to say walk a mile in their shoes in person and online, or we have to say they should have stepped in person and they should have stepped in online.
Yeah, but the last person that got stepped in got dragged through the court system. Daniel Penny did that exact same thing. He stopped that on the subway, and they basically tried to destroy him for it.
Yeah, well, absolutely fair point there too.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, if I step in and help, I'm going to basically destroy my life. I'm going to mind my own business.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Should we talk or I'm not following the list here. What we have
I think there's one key important piece. Like, we don't have obviously a whole lot of understanding of the shooter yet, but the shooter did leave various messages like on the cartridges in the magazine, and like the spent one in the chamber.
Yeah. There's, hey, fascist, catch this, or catch, or something like that.
Yeah.
What really I don't get. Well, there was one that was like, it's kind of hard to understand. I had to look it up because it's fucking Gen Z emoji bullshit. But it is basically what do you call it?
Is it the arrows?
No, it was a meme reference to something awkward and overly sexualized or something. That was the empty case. Honestly, it was just
there's one that's quote notices, comma, bulges, comma, OWO, comma, what's this question mark comma.
Yeah, that
or
was on the empty
quotation.
case. That was the
one of
case
them.
that he.
Yeah.
That was the case that he fired. And that's a meme reference to, oh, somebody notices a bulge. Oh, what's this? And then, basically the start of a porn. It really doesn't make a lot of fucking sense as far as I'm concerned.
That is stranger than strange.
Yeah, the OWO is supposed to be an emoji, like the wide eyes emoji. I had to look that up. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. Another casing, and this one really confused me. Another casing said, if you read this, you're gay, LMAO. Some pretty fucking mixed messaging as far as I can tell.
I think that's the case simply to mock investigators. I think that's kind of a dark thing.
I think
because
that's
he
just
knows
trolling.
that's trolling of the
Yeah, I
public.
suppose.
I mean, each of them is a message in himself. How much thought and what direction they serve is a different question, but they're all messages.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one which was just Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, in reference to the Italian anti-fascist song.
Yeah. So I need to correct two people here.
So how
'cause
many empty cases were there, or they? Sorry,
Well,
guys, I'm
it
lagging
looks
there a lot.
it looks like the Mauser that he had was probably hinged foreplate, and there was one spent casing. He never ejected the spent casing, and there were three additional in the. So there were three complete cartridges and one casing. So Yuke's making fun of us, calling us boomer about modern culture, but he's also wrong. He thinks that the OWO is a reference to UU, which is a Japanese reference. And no, it's not. OWO is emoji. It's supposed to be the wide eyes emoji.
Yeah. And oohs with U's, not O's.
It's not with O's, exactly.
Mhm.
I've seen the same speculation that it was a reference to UU, and it's not. And OO is also not a reference to the furry community. 1AB is saying OWO is it is the ASCII for a emoji, which is the wide-eyed emoji. Anyway, yeah, Bella Ciao. But he one of the other casings, he wrote a phrase to an Italian folk song that was an anti-fascist Italian folk song, which and the words literally are like beautiful goodbye, 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 or something like that. So ramblings of a stupid fucking emotional child, as far as I'm concerned. Probably not what you would consider mentally ill. Definitely radicalized. And big surprise, he went to school. He was apparently at a technical university learning the electrical trade. But he went to a school, and then his parents report that only recently he had become very political and radicalized. Big fucking surprise
how that
to
happened.
me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
240 volt will mess you up a little bit.
Yes.
That's why I stick with 600.
So I think we've got most of the facts, or most of the relevant facts, as they're known right now. Is that fair to say?
Oh,
I
we
think
missed one. There was the Helldivers code on the one casing as well. You're not familiar?
We've
That's
already
the
listed
up and down
the
arrows.
The up down side. Or that is the code there. So the game Helldivers 2, that is Colin. It's a 500 kilogram bomb. Colin that's the code for it.
Right, but I don't remember seeing. I just don't remember seeing that. From what I heard, there was the Italian folk song, "Hey Fascist, Catch." If you look at this, you're gay, and then the spent cartridge was the bulge reference. There were only 4.
Chris, the Hey Fascist catch was followed by those arrows
Okay. I
in
missed
reference
that
to
part.
the video game. Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite familiar with that game, and I'm like, oh, that's not cool.
Got it.
Because in theory, I played that game, and I in theory could have been on the same mission as that guy. For all I know, that's kind of weird.
Well, either way, so that's the facts. I think we've pretty much gone through most of our responses. Is there anything else anybody wants to respond about it?
The actual situation, I think we covered ourselves. However, I think the next natural progression is the reactions to it. There was a lot of very ugly takes out there that had implications in multiple places. For example, there is a University of Toronto professor who has been placed on leave after commenting after Charlie Kirk was shot dead.
And big surprise, a fucking university professor, U of T, no less. And
Yes.
fuck that person.
Yeah, I will. The professor's name is Ruth Marshalls, and her quote was, and I quote, "Shooting is honestly too good for many of you fascists," and then cunts.
And spoken like somebody who has never held a gun, seen what they can do, or anything of the like.
Or knows what the definition of fascism is.
Or knows what the definition of fascism is. Exactly.
Yes.
And you're a fucking professor. And by the way, I don't want any harm to come to Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the difference between me and people like her. And well, I think I can fairly safely speak for all four of us and probably everybody watching this right now. You guys may or may not know this one. A writer for DC Comics, they were writing a new Red Hood series. If you're familiar with comics, you know who Red Hood is. Neither here nor there. They got finished writing issue 1 of their Red Hood series, and DC has now canceled because of the comments that they made. And they were making similar comments. I don't give a fuck about the exact quote. It was basically the same comments as this Ruth piece of shit. And DC has recalled all of issue 1 and canceled the remainder of the series and fired the writer. Yeah, like immediately. Can you tell I'm a nerd that I was following that one?
Oh yeah. Everyone's outing themselves on this one. Mike's a gamer secretly. Chris reads comics.
Yeah, and I don't know Gen Z slang, but I can look it up like a motherfucker.
And then was it the State Department? They were saying that if anyone has praised this assassination, you will not be admitted to the U.S., which I 100% support.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if you're condoning violence, that's not good.
And I am being very reserved in my comments tonight. I want to put that out.
Can we maybe we should talk for a moment about Charlie Kirk, because the left's characterization of him is that he incited violence, and even people who aren't celebrating his death, some of them are essentially saying you live by the sword and you die by the sword. That he incited
is not the correct use of that quote.
Yes,
I'm very aware of that. But some people are saying that he made a career out of inciting violence against the left, and somebody committed violence against him. Whether they're excusing it or whether they're not excusing it, they're kind of saying that that's what happened. I never really liked Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with most of what he said. I respected his ability to articulate his point of view. But he was never really my cup of tea. But I highly respected his ability to calmly articulate his position and defend it intelligently. And for that reason, I watched a lot of his content. I never really sought his content, but all of the algorithms think I'm like super right wing, and they're constantly showing me right wing content. So whenever his content would come up, I would often watch quite a lot of it. And I never once saw him inciting or promoting violence.
No,
Yeah.
I had a great deal of respect for him, and that was there. He is not the person the left made him out to be.
No, I don't think he was either. I saw him supporting the death penalty, which is not the same as inciting violence. We're talking about criminal punishment. I saw him, I vehemently disagreed with him when he would call, queer people abominations and a middle finger to God. That's probably not much of a surprise. I'm not a particularly religious person. He was a devoutly religious person, so probably not a surprise that I disagreed with him on that. But that also is not inciting violence. Saying that somebody is going against God is not the same as inciting violence against them. And he never went so far as inciting violence against queers or trans or. He considered trans people to be mentally ill. You can agree with that or not agree with that. He never incited violence against them. In fact, he usually, when talking to somebody who was on the pro-trans side, he said, well, if you truly care for and love this person, wouldn't you tell them the truth? That's the opposite of inciting violence.
Right.
So even though I didn't agree with him, and I also think he was intellectually dishonest very often, he was very often debating people who were not his intellectual equal. And I think he took advantage of that by being intellectually dishonest. I think he intentionally argued semantics and confused people to the point where they would slip up and he could gotcha them, especially when it came to the confusion.
I agree with you, Chris.
Yeah.
But how much of that is meeting people on their level? Like when how do I explain this? Like when ridiculous people come along and make ridiculous claims and scream and shout, the way you handle that, I mean, your most people's knee-jerk reaction would be to scream and shout back. However, Kirk was measured, and he did go to their level. At least that's the way I saw a lot of this stuff. Is you're feeling that he was intellectually dishonest. Yeah, maybe, but you're not dealing with rational people. You're not having a proper debate in many cases, and it's not as though they went through the crowd and handpicked people that were sort of in his league or even near it. Right? It was open mic to anyone, and you get these people that are nowhere near ready to debate. They just want to scream and spew feelings. So how do you handle that? You want to handle it rationally for sure. And like even God would say, I want to embarrass this person just a little bit because he or she is so incredibly fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
If you're only looking at,
I'm not defending him against what you're saying, but
in the context of the situation,
I'm disagreeing with you a little. Right? Thank you, Derek.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing about you and I disagreeing, Rooster, I never have to worry about you taking a pot shot at me, and vice versa. I'm just going to put that out there.
That's true, I think. Yeah.
But also I don't want to belabor the point, but I think if we're only watching his university talks, I think that's true. 99% of who he was talking with were unintelligent, inarticulate ideologues. And so I think you're absolutely right. But he had many actual debates and he had many actual interviews and very rarely, maybe 3 to 5% of the time, if we're going to put a number on it, he would actually argue as somebody who had half a brain in their head. I suppose that wasn't really my original point,
True.
though. So I guess I can't really I can't really counterpoint with that. You are right
Gotcha.
that and I will. I don't think that it was still right. I think that it was done for views. It was part of his public persona. So I get that, and it definitely made
100%,
views.
I
It
think.
made him famous, embarrassing stupid people.
He cut a groove for himself there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, I still think that he did all of those things, and I don't think you're necessarily saying that he didn't. And maybe we'll both agree that
right.
there was maybe reasons why he did those things. But even so, the primary point being, even though he did all of those things, what he didn't do was incite violence on the right.
That's right.
Or
That is
anywhere else.
That is the primary point here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with Chris on the motivation. I
And
believe that
encourage
he
dialogue.
wanted to be the change he wanted to see in the world, and he became that. For time's sake, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause we-
actually don't. I don't disagree with that at all, Mike. I actually agree with what you just said. I think he was a rare, true believer.
Because he started turning points. He didn't go through college all the way. Like, this is not for me. I'm going to go do this. Went on his own path.
Yep.
Like, he's not intellectually trained. Classically, is what we would call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why a lot of people are upset. Is he was fairly average person who elevated to that point.
A lot of people.
I don't think so. I think he was highly, even if he
I'm
was
not saying he's not
highly
intelligent.
but I'm not even going to say that he was like genius level intellect. What he was highly articulate.
Yes.
Highly articulate. Very quick on his feet. And I, as somebody who actually very much likes argumentation, which is probably no surprise to any of you guys, I actually very much respected his ability to articulate his thoughts and quickly.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a gift. It's a gift I wish I had.
Oh, no shit. Absolutely. And absolutely none of it. And by the way, I'm just going to point this out. I think that I've heard Charlie Kirk make many arguments that I felt very confident that I could hang with him in counter arguing, not like debunking or dunking, because a lot of it is left to opinion. But I think that I could have hung with him on a lot of subjects. But the number of times, even with other articulate people, that he was able to, let's just say, win debates, I think is a testament to the fact that he was on the side of right more than he wasn't. And I'm saying that because I've said that I didn't agree with him with a lot of things. And I feel like I don't want anyone misunderstanding and thinking that I'm speaking ill of the dead. So I'm saying that I think he also was absolutely right about a great number of things.
No, that checks out. You have articulated.
Yeah, you know what, Uke? Yeah, Uke's last comment here in the chat says a lot of what I was just thinking. Is debating is absolutely a skill. You don't necessarily need to be the most intelligent person on the panel. But a skilled debater can actually win a debate with less knowledge.
And you want to know what's funny
Uke
about
is
that
saying it's a skill anyone can learn. Polemics, dialectics, and so on and so forth. Start reading classical philosophy and ethics. Sure.
Well, you know what's funny? I have.
If I can understand it.
Rooster's making fun of it, but I have, and I very much respect
no, I'm not. I
classical
truly am
argumentation.
Yes.
Right. So what my chuckle came from a self-deprecating place where I I greatly appreciate that. And Chris, I think I believe you know this.
Hmm.
My ability to digest that effectively may
Hmm.
not match my interest in it.
I don't. I actually disagree with that. I think that you're much more intelligent than you pretend to be, but
I
that's
sure
neither here
can't
nor there.
articulate it though. That's so how much does that count?
It
I
takes a while to
also
process.
I also disagree with that. I think
Mm.
your frustration sometimes with things binds your mouth a little bit, but I think that's you trying to not
You're very
get
right.
canceled publicly more than it is your inability to articulate yourself. I,
I'm
I,
trying to measure. You know my yeah, my emotion.
how did this turn into a stroking Rooster's ego session? Um,
I'm, I
That's
actually
right.
just want to. I
Keep
just want
going,
to
man. I'm in a low here. I love this.
just to take this on a little bit of a diversion. Kristen chimes in the comment earlier.
yeah.
I don't understand security for these speaking events after the Trump attempts. You would assume they would have had personnel watching from high points at every event.
Hmm.
Maybe you guys talked to it. Maybe I'm a little late to the game. I will say that does seem like a glaring failure of the
Yeah.
Kirk security
But
team. That
these are
is,
two different things, aren't they?
mm.
Like
I mean, they're
you're
both
talking about
both
a
very
president
similar things.
versus yeah.
Maybe we should
I know
have,
you can't
These,
see my
and
shoulder shrug here.
it's
yeah.
not like we don't all know people who have been involved in asset protection. Maybe we should have somebody on about that because I'm a little bit conflicted on that, and I completely understand Kirsten's sentiment, and I've shared it myself in kind
Mhm.
of reflecting
Mhm.
on this. But at the same time, I do think it is a bit of a, well, clearly it was an error not considering long distance shooters.
Mhm.
It does seem like Charlie Kirk has had close um, quarters protection on lock for a long time. I
Mhm.
mean, you look at panned out views. I mean, he's got plainclothes guys all over him,
Yeah.
and has for a very long time. But it does beg the question, why? So if you look at the top down view of that campus, there are three major rooftops that should have been covered,
Mhm.
and the shooter chose the middle one.
Mhm.
And so it does beg the question, but at the same time, for all we know, university campuses won't allow him to have people on those roofs.
Yeah. Also,
And
another question is, as someone who works in building maintenance at times, generally rooftop access, unless it's like a rooftop parking garage, is restricted to the
Mhm.
public.
Locked.
These obviously can be for, let's
mhm,
just put it, self-harm reasons.
yeah,
Um,
but wasn't
Yep.
it
Yep.
the first Trump shooter? Wasn't it like an air conditioning unit or something like that he jumped up onto?
mhm.
This guy, actually don't know how he got up on the
Yeah,
roof.
who knows how he got access?
Generally,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a two-story at least, so it's not like you can reach something. You generally have to have something sufficient to get up from ground level onto the top of a second story. So,
1AB is saying something that's interesting that I don't know anything about. Maybe you guys do. He says this event was one that was set
Right.
up different from every other event Charlie had. I'm curious to know how.
I saw that. I'm really interested in that. Yeah.
I
I
think it
don't
may
know.
have been
I'd
like
love to know where he got that information.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
don't have much
Hmm.
on this, but I may say it does look like it was more of a like a designated area. Like I don't know what you call like one of those outdoor theaters. Um,
yeah.
where it was intentionally designed for something like that. So,
I got that sense as well. I think the problem was it was relatively enclosed.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was it was enclosed by 3 buildings, and clearly that was a problem. I just, man, I'm just kind of think it just hit me while I was thinking about where we were in this conversation, but like, what a sad event. Like this is bad, and it could be bad. And maybe this is a good point to transition into like what we think the implications of this are going to be. But what do you guys think?
Where's this gonna go now?
What I would like to see
Have we had
is
enough
almost
of
some McCarthyism go through the academic system.
What do you mean by that, Mike?
If you look at if you look in this is publicly available in the States, you look at the donors for academia, like professors and stuff, it's like 98% Democrat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That is a problem. Like there was a report in Canada that just came out, 48% of university students are afraid to speak their mind because they fear of academic, like they don't want to fail their class, so they hold their tongue.
Yeah.
I think there's an MP that just put out that study or poll. Sorry, it was a poll.
Well, and this is something that Jordan Peterson's been talking about for almost 2 decades now.
Well, Jordan Peterson, Gad said there was the grievance studies that also happened.
Frances Widowson, if you guys don't know who she is.
Yeah. Well, even the whole was it the peer review? They basically, somebody published Mein Kampf, but just changed a couple of the words, and it almost got published.
Published where?
It was going through a university peer review process, and I either made it through or almost made it through.
Like in a journal.
Yeah, like they just made this up just to see what they could get through the peer review process.
Wow.
Yes.
When it was
who was that, Mike? My internet went down.
James Lindsay, I believe it was. I think they called it the grievance studies. He's kind of a math.
Yes. Yeah.
Another was the heteronormativity in dog parks. They just put a bunch of buzzwords in it, and it made it through the peer review process.
Yeah. Heteronormativity in dog parks.
Dog parks.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
What the fuck?
You got to look that one up. Yeah, that one was actually a while ago. That was like 4 years ago now.
Are they are they saying this is a problem with dog park design? Is that it's heteronormative?
Let's look it up again.
Does that mean that there's not enough bushes for guys to blow each other in?
No. They just made stuff up that they knew that certain buzzwords would get through the. They made it up. Right. It means nothing.
You know the problem with dog parks these days, guys?
Sexual assault and everything else in it.
Oh, come on.
They did.
So, okay.
A university professor made up a story of dog-on-dog sexual assault and got the hoax published.
Yes.
Peter Boghossian, that's who it was. And his college launched the satirical broadside, feminist theory, and race studies scholarship.
So I think that this is here's something I'm going to tie this in. Okay. I think this is illustrative. We're getting a bit off topic now, but I think this is illustrative of a major problem that really started to become apparent in 2020, which is that, people like to talk about brain drain.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the majority of academic society is absolutely brain drained. And I think that we are, I think that like the 1% of academics are just so far beyond where we were in the past, or maybe like intellectually on the same level, but technologically so far beyond where we were. Like technology is advancing at such a rapid pace nowadays. But 99% of academia is an absolutely bullshit, self-perpetuating, masturbatory industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that it makes you want to jerk off to it, Rooster. I mean that the whole industry
What did I
is just
do to deserve that?
I think that the whole industry is just one big masturbatory exercise. It's just a big circle jerk, a big self-perpetuating one.
Let's tie that in. Okay, so we have an academia which basically takes people and either radicalizes them or gives them a very certain ideology. And not all indoctrination is bad. Being indoctrinated that 2 + 2 = 4 is a good thing.
Fair, but what we are talking about is radical indoctrination.
Yeah,
that
I'm
is sanctioned.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. So we have this going on. Now let's tie that into what's going on. We have judges that are letting people off, saying, "Oh, they had this in their life, this in their life. We can't charge them for whatever. Insert systemic racism or whatever argument they want to use here." That's all happening because they were trained at an academic institution that was pushing that early on, and now we're seeing the consequences of it.
Yeah, I
because
completely agree.
that's where all of it comes from. So there's a problem with academia. There's a cancer in there that we have to fix somehow. I'm not the one to fix it, but I believe that is a source of a lot of society's current recent problems.
Well, I think only academia can fix it. And you know what's funny? I know multiple university professors locally from the University of Saskatchewan, and what's really funny is I know multiple university professors in my life, and they seem to be the majority. I'm not going to say conservative. I'm going to say sensical. Of sensical university professors, and not all of them really, I don't think, would be considered conservative. But I have heard untold stories of, and not just from tenured professors. It's worse, the stories I hear from the untenured professors, because they have to toe the line. And the things that they are told to do, like whether you guys realize this or not, we think that it's bullshit that in high school and grade school that they don't fail people anymore. Professors are being pressured to not do it in university now.
That's a big problem.
That's a major problem.
Especially if you're in something like, medical,
what's the motivation for
engineering? These are problems.
This is the motivation, Brewster.
That's it. Just get more students through, no matter how they do. Just get that slot open so we can get a new one.
Well, and I think that there's a massive hubris-driven, ideologically driven effort
100%.
by people that are in power in the administration of universities, that they are the worst type. They would make the worst type of dictator because they would be the benevolent dictator. I think they genuinely think that they are correct, and they are okay with authoritarianism so long as it meets their ideology because it justifies the ethics of it. And they are wrong.
100%. Yes.
They are wrong. But they are also running our higher education system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is letting people out on bail and wreaking havoc in our cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not caught up on the comments, but I just saw Yuka Kazi say, "The fuck you say to me?"
Right. That's a misplaced comma, by the way, Yuke. You should be ashamed of yourself.
The fuck you say to me?
To me?
I have a theory about
Poor
how
Dixon.
BC kind of got really far left wing or lefter wing. This is a theory. Hear me out.
Okay.
Everyone got drafted.
I
bunch of people got
love that
drafted.
we're using the Charlie Kirk thing to go here, but go ahead.
Okay, hear me out. This is a conspiracy theory, but it makes enough sense that it could have happened. A lot of people got drafted for Vietnam. A lot of people didn't want to go to Vietnam. If you're in the US, what's the closest Canadian province? Because that was quite popular, is to go to Canada. So if you're a liberal professor in the 60s and you got a job in Canada, you got a job at university. I'm not saying this happened. It could have happened. And then that whole ideology gets brought in and over time. And then those people go to conferences and it gets connected and they talk to each other and they go to cocktail parties. And here we are today.
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory, Mike. I think that is something that's been pretty reasonably documented, and not just in Ontario. That's not the first time that I've seen that connection to American draft dodgers and a large number of.
And in theory, if you're going to
academics.
Vietnam, you're going to be on the West Coast. What's the close? You're going to BC, the lower mainland.
Oh, well, and really, they went multiple different places, including our local universities in Edmonton and Saskatchewan. What is the university? Is it U of Ed? Is that what they call it in Edmonton?
University of Alberta.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right, Alberta.
The main one is University of Alberta.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
and then University of Calgary, University of Athabasca in Regina, and then Saskatoon and Saskatoon. But that's not the first time that I've heard that. I remember seeing I wish I could remember where it was, that somebody was actually naming a number of academics in the 1970s that immigrated into Canada and became administrators at various universities in Saskatchewan. And whether they were draft dodgers or there weren't, there seems to be a very clear evidence that there were a number of academics that came from America, left-wing academics that came, very far left-wing academics that came from America to Canada in the 1970s, especially.
But no, that and pro-communist as well.
But that's all part and parcel, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you look in the story of Belladonna,
you could make that argument.
Fantastic
for sure.
story if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
But we were, and still are. I hate to say this. I hate to include myself in this as a Canadian because I think it's disgusting. But I think that we were and are still, as a whole, very welcoming to that sort of academic.
We are, but you look at what's happening. Well, then and now, I guess Canada's just a depository for shitbags.
A depository for progressives, and unfortunately, too far progressive. Well, see, I don't consider progressives. I consider progressives more moderate left, like just in my own mind. So maybe I shouldn't be, but
it's a fuzzy line.
It is a fuzzy line, yeah.
I don't think it's a line. I think it's a horseshoe.
How so?
Because you have so you have the far left on the one point of the horseshoe. They're obsessed with race, whatever. And then you've got all the way on the far right, who is also obsessed with race. It's a horseshoe.
And then, so where's the middle of that horseshoe? Authoritarianism?
Yeah. Some argument can be made for that, I suppose.
It's a left-right thing, but you go far left, far right, you center.
I actually completely agree with what you're saying. As long as the middle of that horseshoe is authoritarianism, and the opposite of the middle of that horseshoe is libertarianism. Not like libertarianism as in I'm a libertarianist, but libertarianism as in the belief in personal freedoms and responsibilities.
Yeah, the fundamental
rough average of centrism, wherever you want to put it. Horseshoe theory. Thank you, Vanya.
Oh, this is an actual theory. I thought you were just.
No. There are other people that said.
Okay, I thought Mike just completely on his own, stumbled on something actually kind of profound.
I mean, Mike does read books.
Once.
At a very slow pace, though, I will say.
That needs to be like a new segment on our YouTube channel. Mike reads books.
It could be. It's
Mike. I want to draw you guys' attention
just because it's a great story.
But. Go ahead, Rooster.
Go ahede.
You second last comment. Before I go into a bit of a rage. He says responsible monarchy is the solution.
I agree with you.
What?
100%.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
That's
No, it's not. Fuck you, Kakazi. Fuck you. I love
that's
you,
what
buddy.
okay.
Hear
I
me
know. I
out.
didn't want to be the guy to say it.
Hear me out.
Tried
there
that
was-
shit.
The interesting thing about monarchy is, unlike modern democratic politicians who have a very short tenure, like the actual family, if it doesn't fall into absolute totalitarianism, has to look out for their own long-term future. Because as a lot of monarchies have unfortunately ended with a lot of people getting shot, unfortunately. So if you look at the remaining monarchies that aren't totally totalitarian, they generally try to draw a very middle of the road line as to not get shot.
Okay.
And
they
in
also
that
have to
Canadian
think about
context,
their children not getting shot too, because it's not just them
You don't
getting that are
eat
going to
on
get
the
shot.
on the flip side of that coin, there's
Yeah,
a lot of inbreeding.
there's a lot of inbreeding, which is a little bit fucked up.
I don't want to be ruled by fucking inbred fucking
Cause
cake
and
eaters.
effect.
Cousin lovers.
Oh, because they'd be so much worse than what we have now.
Okay, that's a fair
Please.
point, Kurt. You're
Yeah,
making the
that's
wrong. You're making the wrong case here,
know.
Rooster.
That's a good point, Kurt. Yeah, that's fair. Let's not be discriminating against.
A lot of the people that we elect are dumb enough to be inbred, I suppose.
By dumb inbred.
Ideologically.
And
incorrect.
Yukikazi says, I'm not talking about the Habsburgs. I'm like, bro, the Habsburgs at one point, not that long ago in our history, ruled most of Europe.
Right.
Like,
That's
I mean,
right.
from Russia to England, they ruled. Mind you, their dynasty fell pretty hard.
Mm.
Bunch of crooked tooth inbreds.
well, it
Never
was the
mind.
Hey,
style.
you're
at
talking
the
about
time.
half my family too.
It was the style at the time.
All right.
Okay, when we got really far off here. Okay, I one implication that I think I would like to talk about, and I think one of the reasons why this bothers me so much. First of all, it bothers me as a not celebrity, but somebody who has taken the plunge of putting themselves and their opinions out into the public.
Mm.
Let's face it, we're not even like a drop in the bucket compared to the popularity of somebody like Charlie Kirk, but I mean, within our circle,
We got to
we
at least
do-
be beating David Cochran on CBC.
but really though, within our
God.
circle, guys, we do get recognized in public, and not just
Yeah,
at
I
gun
have.
shows. I've been recognized just in the general public from our show. And
It's
that
kind of weird.
it is weird, and that gave me
We love you guys, though.
That
Most
gave me, yeah, that gave me
Some of you
real
not so
pause
much.
though. But seriously though, that gave me real pause with Kirk.
Mhm.
And I know that it's given a great number of other influencers a lot of pause. I think some of them are posturing and just acting angry. Some of
Certainly.
them are absolutely expressing fear for their own views. There's some big influencer, I've never even heard of his name, and I can't remember his name because he's probably a fucking retard. But
It's huge.
he's huge, and he said that he's going to stop talking about progressives because of the Kirk shooting. He probably didn't have much intelligent to say about it anyway, but I mean, I do say that I think most of the intelligent people I'm already following, and I had never heard of this guy before. But it's clearly happening, and even on the left. And
Can you give a reason,
God,
Chris?
what can I give a reason?
Did he give a reason, or
Well, because he doesn't
or
want to
was it
get
just
shot.
fear?
Yeah, it's just fear. It's just fear. And man, I'm
Well,
going
this
to
is
get
something
myself.
that can't happen.
I'm going to get myself in so much trouble here because I'm about to say this publicly, I'm going to caveat this. This is my own view, and this is not necessarily the view of the other three gentlemen on this show with me or the view of the Ballistically Speaking podcast.
You're very fucking close, though.
Dun, dun,
Well, just wait. You don't
dun.
know what I'm going to say yet. I think that
I don't need to.
it is absolutely true when Tracy Wilson posts on X over the last couple of days how the left has caused this by normalizing the dehumanization of people on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the name of the lady? Her last Rachel Gilmore, I think, specifically. She's been going. She's been going hard on Rachel
Her
Gilmore.
tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At the
That is a
same time,
fucking vile demon, that thing. Yeah.
she's a human being. I agree with what you're saying, Rooster. She's a fucking idiot. But she is still a human being. And I don't know whether this is true or not, but she's claiming that she's now receiving death threats largely because of what people like Tracy Wilson have said about her on X over the last couple of days. And I think that this is, you guys know this about me. I'm a moderate. I'm a centrist. And an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep, agreed.
I don't know whether we've a critical mass gets reached. A critical mass was reached in the 1960s, and it saw the rise of groups like the Black Panthers. You know, JFK's assassination, RFK's assassination, MLK's assassination, and that critical mass was reached on both sides. The popularity of the Ku Klux Klan, the popularity of the Black Panthers, and the violence that occurred out of that on both sides. I am most worried that the implications of this event, of Charlie Kirk's assassination, is going to be a repeat of history on both sides and further extremism. Not extremism, but further othering of each side.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned that there is going to be violence against trans people and queer people. And people
Well, that's the direction. You're right. That's the direction that nobody wanted to go in the first place. And you know what? It's interesting, Chris, that you say this, because I was thinking about it the other day. Now, some for lack of a better way to put it, less intelligent people may then go and take whatever anger, frustration, whatever out on trans people, target them, which nobody wanted in the first fucking place. But I think a lot of people are going to get to the point where they feel driven to, now it's your fault. You've taken this too far. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. And that eruption, right? Misplaced eruption.
That tipping
it happens everywhere, no matter. Exactly. That's what nobody wanted. This is exactly why we've tolerated so much of this stuff for so long, because nobody wanted it in the first place. Now, people from that side started getting violent and all that kind of stuff. We still tolerated it, or the other side still tolerated it. For how long? Now, is this the tipping point that opens that fucking wound wide? I don't know. And now I want to go back a little bit to that Rachel Gilmore trash. I don't want anything to happen to her. I certainly don't. She's a trash human being as far as I'm concerned. That's as far as I'd ever take it or condone anyone ever taking it. A large part of me says that what she's saying, that she's receiving death threats, the theater that fucking twat puts out tells me that it's probably still theater. She's not beyond lying. She's not above
Fair.
that. Now,
Fair.
I'm not saying she doesn't have some concerns. It may very well be. People are very capable of that, but she's also a sensationalist, no question.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
that's fair. But I mean, we there are people right now that are calling for violence.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
there
that's
always
that's
will
something I
be
wanted to
in
address too.
scenarios like this.
Go
Is
ahead, Derek.
is that like the climate after this has been really heightened because unfortunately in our social media landscape, it's been the trend that essentially rage bait is a very adequate term to be describe what's been going around.
Yeah,
And obviously the attention economy is fueled by that. And obviously this being the thing with the most attention on it, it's drawn a lot of negative attention to it simply for the commerce of attention. And I think that's really taken away and, well, I'd say taken this backwards to a place where it shouldn't have been. Is that kind of attention economy. It's made things much worse. I know in my own watchings and listenings, just scrolling through whatever feed, that has not been helpful at all. It's been counter. There's been some
No, it
positive
never
stuff
is.
seen, but there's also been some really shitty stuff seen
Yeah.
and said purely for attention, and that is
And
despicable.
I get the anger, you know, as a centrist, I don't share the same convictions of a lot of these people. But as a centrist, I also see both points of view. And, you know, when in my own little world, you guys may not know who this guy is, but, you know, Gordon Ryan was making comments, and I'm going to have to paraphrase. So take that paraphrase for what it is, but making comments, something of like, enough is enough is like now you're going to reap he didn't say reap the whirlwind, but essentially like, you're going to feel the repercussions of this. You know, when
Buckle
are
up.
people,
Yeah,
when are people going when have people had enough? It was more along the lines of what he was saying on social media. If you don't know who he is, he's generally regarded as the best no-gi grappling athlete in the world. And you know, Tim Kennedy was making similar comments, and that concerns me as much as the left-wing lunatics. That's not right, because I don't think Gordon Ryan and Tim
we know what
Kennedy
you're
are
saying, though,
lunatics.
Chris.
Yeah, they're not lunatics, but they are highly influential. And I think it's just as dangerous as the influential people on the right. You know, another person, what's his name? Freitas. I got to look this up.
Nick Freitas.
Nick
Yeah.
Freitas.
Nick Freitas.
Yeah, the American politician. He's basically saying the same thing. That like, wait, yeah. I just this was
Is he basically saying the same thing, Chris? Though, or is
yeah,
he?
man. Did you hear his?
Okay,
Did you
so
see his YouTube
are
video?
you
My
sure
response to
about
the
that?
left. Did you see his video? My response to the
I
left.
saw something.
I mean,
don't know if I'd seen that one.
You know, 1AB says his last video was spot on. I think a lot of his video in terms of the analysis was spot on. But I think that whereas
very
people
critical,
like
for
Rachel
sure.
Gilmore have not respected the ramifications of the dehumanization of the right that she perpetuates, I don't think that people like Nick Freitas are respecting, because it's not just him, are respecting the ramifications of the dehumanization of the people on the left. And that's my view as a centrist.
That's a tough one to.
Well, media plays a huge
Okay,
part
so
in that too, though.
But they are media, Mike. They're more
but
important.
they're part of the media.
Yeah, social media influencers in a lot of ways are more important to the public consciousness than mainstream media.
Because I was if you watch, and CBC did this, and shame on them for it. The first day it happened, they said, "Oh no, it's not new," but like they should be called out for it.
Yeah.
At first, it was conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. The next day, it was far right commentator Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, well, totally fair. I have not heard a single reference, whether it was CTV, Global, or CBC. Which, by the way, they're all just spewing. What's it called? The Canadian. What's it called? The main media source in Canada.
AP.
No.
Oh, like one puts it out and then the rest of them put it out?
Yeah. What's the name of that organization?
I know what you're talking about.
Canada Post? No, that's our fucking mail system.
No, they don't even work to begin with.
The Canadian
Are you
press.
talking
Canadian press. I get that most of them are
overthinking it.
Yeah. Most of them are still just parroting Canadian press, but not a single reference to Charlie Kirk as anything other than conservative or alt-right or far-right. That's always the adjective describing him.
And I don't think a lot of people on the left realize he was kind of the most in the middle of the road when it comes to certain topics. Like he was the middle of the road for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And what follows him is not going to be.
No.
You're not going to send someone else out in the middle of the road now.
Sorry, are you saying that Charlie Kirk was middle of the road?
He was fairly middle of the road on a lot of things.
Well, I also want to frame context.
Right side of the middle of the road.
As again, as Canadians, we have a different central spectrum of biases. Whereas again, we have to frame ourselves in the mind of the American right, which is generally more religious than the Canadian right. More of that traditional, Christian kind of mindset that we have to kind of understand and place ourselves in. So in terms of the American right, probably I would say middle of the road and further, maybe a little bit further to the right for the American Christian right. So let's frame it that way.
That's I think that's fair. And I think that's also, I was kind of disagreeing with Mike, but maybe I shouldn't be. I think that Charlie Kirk was his views politically were highly influenced by his faith. And religion is not only a right-wing concept. So
he was essentially a normal person from 10 years ago.
No, he's a normal person from 40 years ago.
No.
As somebody who's lived the last 40 years,
I don't know if I'd go that far, Chris. But
I don't know, man. He was very.
Well, now you're trying to come from a position of authority.
That's true, actually. That is a logical fallacy.
Yeah,
Thank you for pointing it out,
is.
Rooster.
Yes.
I am appealing to my authority
And
here,
the glued lines.
even though Rooster is older than I am. But I don't think that there's too much of an argument to be made that he was not highly fundamentalist Christian. And I'm not saying there was anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that I think that it was a pretty significant fact. It's interesting. I saw one clip on Reels the other day where somebody had asked him last year, if it were all to go away, meaning if you died, what would you want to be remembered for? And his answer, and I'm paraphrasing, was basically my conviction to my faith.
Yeah, that's very true.
That was
He was highly, highly religious. Not passing judgment on religion, but he was highly, highly religious, and that colored all of his politics. It was why the left hated him. It wasn't because of his politics. It was because of his religion, because his religion would not allow him to find common ground between queer people, between trans people, between people who had abortions. It would not allow him to do that.
I would agree, actually. Right. He's hardlined in his faith, and his
Yes.
faith is hardlined on those topics. Yes.
Yes. And I on some levels, I can respect people who have very hardline religious beliefs.
Sure.
I can
That
respect it because
conviction isn't often
yeah,
found anymore. Right.
exactly. I respect the conviction. At the same time, I truly believe that for over 1,000 years, actually about 1,800 years since Constantine around, that organized religion has been the primary, this is my own belief, the primary impetus
Yep.
for the atrocities and evil of our world. Whether it's
Amen
Christian,
to that, brother.
whether it's pagan atrocities of pitting Christians in Roman colosseums against lions and other animals, to Christians, murdering. Well, murdering is the wrong word. I'm going to completely forget I said the word murdering. That was absolutely the wrong word. But like the Crusades, that's why that's
not the first
Okay,
crusade.
what were the
Definitely not the first
Crusades a
crusade.
Not the-
response to,
okay.
though?
I will accept Reconquista. I will accept the Reconquista. They were taking back their land from the Muslims. Fair.
Well, it wasn't.
I'm assuming
they were
that's
getting
what you were getting at.
attacked. They were getting attacked.
Repechage.
from
I know
building
the
two
Muslims were
roads.
trying to wipe them out, and they took their land back. I get that, but regardless, I stand by the rest of it. Thank you for making that distinction, Mike. To the Ottoman Empire, to the Mamluk Empire before them, and everything in between. I'm not a big fan of organized religion. I'm not I'm very respectful of moderate religious belief, but so often religious belief becomes absolute, and I think that it becomes
And why is that?
responsible for the same reason that
It's
that
the
leftists nowadays are
Political
stuck
belief
to their
can-
ideology.
Corruptible beings.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and like wokeism is just a religion.
Hmm.
Yeah, 100. Oh, God bless you, man. Yes.
Interesting choice of words there, Kurt.
I know it was just a reaction, but hey, it fit.
Now, I really cringe to say that because I have so many friends that are very, very religious. I have a friend, a very, very close friend who's very dear to me, who's probably listening to this. If not live, he'll listen to the recast, who is training to be a pastor right now. And I consider him a more moderate religious person, though. I will say that. I don't think he's the type of person that would commit violence against other people in his religious beliefs, unless they attacked him first. But anyway, God, we are so off fucking topic. Are we going to move on to the next?
No, I think it's,
Hey,
I think it's still relevant. I do want to add something before we finish on this topic too. I'll let Kurt go though.
Me too. I want my turn too.
I don't need to spend 4 hours rebutting Chris, so let's just move on.
Oh, Mike, I wish you would. I actually like it when people disagree with me, much like Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
But in the interest of time,
Uh-huh.
you saw the book I'm reading.
No, I actually didn't. It was
right,
reversed.
Let's
on your
allow
screen.
Derek his thing. You too.
Kurt, go ahead.
Oh,
Go,
I
Kurt.
just kind of want to backtrack a little bit about when we were talking about Nick Fuentes and others, what they've been saying. Now, do you take that as stoking the fire, or do you take that as a genuine? Hey, I know that there are people out here that may take this too far. This is a warning. Now, they're
Nick
both
Fuentes,
kind
not
of
Nick
put in
Fuentes.
parcel.
Very different.
Yeah, we know who you meant. I think that he is unintentionally stoking the fire. I don't think he is intentional. I think he's very angry. I think it's
I think the
highly
message,
likely.
sure.
I think it's highly likely that he knew Charlie Kirk personally. So he's
Yes.
probably taking this much more personally than most people are. And
Right. I think he's
absolutely
putting out
get
a
that.
message that, hey, because of all this horse shit, this is now coming. It wasn't a call, I don't think, by him or maybe
Agreed.
any of the others. I don't know exactly what's out there, but I have more feeling that it's a hey, fuckers, this is now what's coming. This is what you've done. You've pushed us
Yeah.
into this corner.
Yes,
That's what I feel anyway.
and I think that that's probably like A, grief, B, frustration, C, flat out anger.
Sure.
But by the same token, the people on the left may not be grieving right now, but they are frustrated and they are angry. And some of them are fucking lunatics, but
Really.
the more moderate ones aren't. And I think some
But
of
it's
them, at
always
least,
the kid.
what they're saying is also unintentional. Not all of them.
Right, but they're shit, this is difficult. There's got to be a direction. You remember those kids in school that were always poorly behaved and they'd yell at other kids, and it eventually turned to biting and spitting and kicking, and these
Is this an
now
admission?
this is a manifestation of that.
Mm.
No, fortunately.
Okay. You were the bite. You were the bitee,
I
not
handle
the
things in a
biter.
much different way.
Okay.
No more. I've always been the how do I say? I'll bare my fucking teeth when you show me yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, carry on.
Don't show me yours. There won't be none. So, but I think now we're seeing the manifestation of these kids who couldn't control their emotions, behaviors.
Agreed. You were laughing at Yuke's comment.
Um,
Rooster's Manifesto, Part 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the greatest thing I've heard today, I think. But man, this is difficult. But like, I truly believe that all of this behavior, this activity that we see from these radicals and the yappers, the yappy dogs behind the fence, right? Always behind a keyboard, always in crowds, all this kind of shit are those people who do not know how to behave socially, don't know where they fit in. Nobody's helped them and certainly haven't fucking corrected them. Now the correction may be coming, and it's not going to be what you think it could be.
I do agree with that. And I think that is unfortunate because it's going to lead to more violence and it's going to lead to more deaths.
It is.
And I completely agree with you that it is because of the infantilization of the mature adult.
Yes.
I think that victim,
man, that sits larger with me than you know. Yeah.
I'm sure that a lot of
I'm
people are
vibrating
like
right now.
resonating with that. And I didn't come up with that. I can't remember where I heard that. It might have been Jordan Peterson that said the word, the infantilization of the mature adult. Don't quote me on that. It might have been somebody else too, but fuck, watch. It'll be fucking somebody crazy like Russell Peterson. But
Nancy's moving away from me right now.
I think that it is absolutely true. The infantilization of the mature adult is absolutely real and largely responsible for the majority of our problems.
Yes.
And I think that it is sanctioned in circles. I think that it is circles. I think it is sanctioned both on the left and on the right, honestly.
Yeah.
And the
This
moral
one's
of the
interesting.
story is grow the fuck up.
Yeah. So Yuka's saying Gen Z is fucked, an entire generation who's grown up behind a screen on forums, finding shit like Discord. It's all so tiresome. 100% with you. However, how do you explain some of the late the old Gen Xers and the fucking boomers that are doing the same shit?
Yeah, I think it's the
Is it
younger
because they have no purpose in lives?
I think it's the younger millennials, some of the older millennials, but mostly the younger millennials and the older Gen Z.
Yes.
The younger Gen Z and now what some people are calling Gen Alpha, they're too young to understand what's going on. But what's interesting is
a lot of them are turning against this woke.
That's what's interesting is the prediction that younger Gen Z or Gen Alpha is going to be highly conservative. And by the way, the popularity of Charlie Kirk proves a segment of the popularity of younger Gen Z.
Yes.
To the more,
Correct.
Against wokeism. Let's put it that way.
Well, look
guys,
at it
I
this
drank
way.
way too much. I'm gonna be the second guy in the history of our show to go to the bathroom during our show.
That's fine. So I'm gonna chime in where
What?
Chris-
You can't pee in a podcast.
Just take
I've
your
done
mic
it
off
twice
if you
already.
do.
Just turn your mic off.
Just don't
We had
tell
one
anybody.
guest that did that one time when we chided the shit out of him.
He's tall. He has a lot of room. Go ahead, Derek.
I'm gonna jump in where Chris left off. So essentially, as young people, there tends to be a little bit of rebellion against the prevailing authority as you grow up, ideologically. So that's obviously going to be cyclical. So to an extent, some of these Gen Z, Gen Alpha growing up, seeing all this wokeism, and that is the old people thing, essentially, to put it in a way, and they're going to rebel against that naturally. So I think that's where some of it is coming from. It's just that natural propensity of young people to rebel against their parents and what their parents believe. But I think some of it's coming from that. As a tie-in for a few things,
it's plausible.
It's I don't think it's a main factor, but I think it's a contributing factor for sure.
Sure.
So something I want to tie in on these topics, though, something at which hopefully the sensible people on the left and the right can unify is that we shouldn't escalate anything. Political violence is bad, regardless of who it is, and that is a road we don't want to go down.
That is a Pandora's box. You do not get to shove the genie back in the bottle after that.
I think we need
I
to
very much agree with that, and that's what the right has pointed out for so long. But I'm starting to wonder now, has this evolved now past a political thing? Now is this a cultural thing, which is tightly tied together, however, a very different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, politics is downstream of culture. Culture is downstream of religion. So it's going to flow that way.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of think hopefully the opportunity is for proper conversation is about like, hey, let's let cool heads prevail. And I think I'm going to criticize the right a little bit to this, as much as Rachel Gilmore says some ratchet ass shit. Or one tweet that I know.
Did you just quote Rachel Gilmore? Come on.
No, I'm going to quote her now.
Okay.
But I think there's been some undue criticism on one tweet in particular, where she said, and I quote, "Terrified to think of how far-right fans of Kirk, aching for more violence, could very well turn this into a more radicalizing moment. They will now believe that their fears have been proven right, and they'll feel like they have a right to retaliate, regardless who was actually behind the initial shooting."
Yeah.
So that was her statement.
But you don't get to fucking slap somebody and then claim victim when you get slapped back. This is
true, but again,
my only problem with that sentiment is that's what the left is saying about Charlie Kirk. Sort of. I mean, Rachel Gilmore hasn't been assassinated.
Saying about the right.
Yeah.
But at the same
Okay.
time, the right is saying to the left, why the fuck are you shooting us all the time? So
Yeah.
it is. I think it's a common ground if we realize, hey, how about if we both stop this? We're both in a better spot. I think that's where hopefully we can find some common ground. It's like, hey, let's
It's very
not
sweet,
use
Derek, but how long have
violence
you
as a
known
political
humans?
tool. So I know
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
wishful thinking, but I'm
Yeah.
just trying to put that out fair
I
because
know.
that's my hope is we stop using violence as a political tool because
I think it's
violence is very
most
ugly.
normal people's hopes. Yeah.
I think that it is part of our because apparently I'm on the right now. It's part of our echo chamber that the left is only committing violence against us. There have been multiple political Democrats over the last number of years that have had violence committed against them, not the least of which, what was it? She's a lawmaker in the U.S. I can't remember
Nancy
her name.
Pelosi's husband.
No.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
No, she just died of old cronyism. Cronyism is not.
They died of cronies.
I didn't use that word. That word. I don't think that word means what I think it means.
No, she had this rare condition called almost
She
a
could
hundred.
have died
truer
from
than
Crohn's.
When I meant this, there's somebody else. It was her and her husband were. I wish I could remember the name. Right
was
now.
it Minnesota? No.
It was something like that. No, not Gabby Giffords isn't who I'm thinking of.
Gabby Giffords?
180.
No.
It doesn't matter. The point is that there has been political violence against Democrats, and there has been political violence against Republicans.
That was Nancy Pelosi's husband.
No, that happened.
Yeah.
That just wasn't the one I was
Much
thinking
more
of.
recent. Than that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
a more recent one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yuka Kazi's double quoting my quote from Princess Bride. I know. I'm aware that I used the word cronyism wrong.
A dictionary is a wonderful tool.
Anybody want a peanut?
It's not my fault I'm the biggest and the strongest. That was the worst Andre the Giant impression anyone has
pee
ever
too.
done publicly. You might have to pee. Pay attention to the reasons for the violence more than the party against whom they're committed, Yuke says. That's an interesting comment. I'd like to hear that fleshed out. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Well, ultimately, another thing about this case will be interesting to see, because unlike the Trump shooter, the shooter is still alive.
Yeah.
So this
Well,
is
the
gonna be
second Trump
interesting.
shooter is still alive.
Going to be,
Unless he has information on Hillary Clinton.
Yes, but the second Trump shooter wasn't very good, and it was also pretty crazy. Dumb and crazy, because there's smart crazy and then there's dumb crazy, but that guy was just dumb crazy.
He was kind of both. Oh no!
Yes.
Sorry, no, he wasn't. You said smart crazy and dumb crazy.
There's
He was
two different-
He was
there's
dumb
like-
crazy.
There's like mad scientist, which is smart crazy, and then there's dumb crazy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
dumb crazy is
Agreed.
not insightful. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
totally fair. Let's talk about Iryna. I wish I could remember
Zarutska.
her last. Zarutska.
Zarutska.
This one hit me hard, guys. Like almost like it hit me harder than Charlie Kirk. Have you guys seen the video?
Unfortunately, I have.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm
Unreal.
assuming rooster means amazing in the negative sense.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I do. You know that.
Yeah, I know you do.
High regard would be given a chicken in an action like that, honestly.
High regard.
No,
would
but
be
seriously, the
given a
way
chicken.
he slashed at her.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man.
You would feel worse about killing a chicken than it appeared that guy was about killing this young lady.
Well, he wasn't concerned about it at all until afterwards. He apparently told his sister afterwards that he stabbed her because he believed that she was reading his thoughts.
Yeah, he was.
That
He was.
does
I
kind
didn't
of
read
track
that.
with.
He
I've
was
heard reports that
schizophrenic.
he was schizophrenic.
Yeah, the media is focusing on the fact that he has 14 prior criminal convictions. The problem is that he is a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic with no insight who has been untreated for many, many years, despite his family's pleas to have him treated.
Yes.
And that's the primary reason why this one hit me so hard. I think I've talked about it on the show before. My brother is a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. And whether he intended to or not, he has been violent in the past. He has a conviction for cutting somebody during a dispute on the street a number of years ago. He has multiple criminal mischief convictions, and he has been in the criminal system because the criminal system is separate from the mental health system, the same as it is in the United States. Right. And the mental health system in the US, as it is in Canada, is non-existent. To call it a joke is a kindness. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it is worse in Canada in that the Privacy Act and HIPAA especially takes priority over the wellness of the mentally ill individual. I know that firsthand
gives priority to, do you mean?
Yes. Gives priority to the Privacy Act and HIPAA over the wellness of the individual. And I know this as a family member who has been cut out of the mental health system because my brother, who does not know or believe that he is mentally ill, does not give consent, which means I have not been able to provide information that clearly demonstrates his mental illness in the effort of getting him treated and getting him help. I'm not going to talk about it, all of it publicly, because I'm just not going to. But it has caused untold stress on my family. It has caused multiple breaks from my mother. And it is entirely because our health system is less interested in helping people than giving the illusion of helping people. And we love Bell Let's Talk and all the fucking bullshit. And our government loves to talk about
window dressing.
It's not even that, Kurt. It's barely lip service. It's
Yep.
I can't describe how disgusting it is, our mental health system, and how little they care. It's like people watched movies from the night. It's like the people in charge watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and saw the lobotomization scene of Jack Nicholson's character. And then watched like Amityville Horror and saw the, like all of the Hollywood depictions of everything that went on in the 20s, 30s, and 40s in the mental health institutions. And a lot of it was pretty bullshit. I mean, MK Ultra experiments were conducted in the city of Weyburn, Saskatchewan, in our province. In fact, it was a major North American center for LSD and MK Ultra experiments at the Weyburn Penitentiary up until the late 50s, I think, early 60s. And all of those things are true, but it's like they watched that and then they went so far the other direction that we just don't help people with mental illness. And I truly believe that that's what happened to this poor Ukrainian girl. It's just fucking heartbreaking to me.
To survive
Really?
surviving a active war zone, to come to America where it was supposed to be safe, and then get attacked on this public transit, which in Europe, public transit is huge. People don't own vehicles because the public transit is so good, because the average, like, Ukraine's probably the biggest country in Europe, and the closest state would be Texas. We don't realize that here. Like, and their subway system is deep too. So
Yeah, culturally it's different.
It's a cultural thing too, that like public transit should be safe. Where here, you ask anyone, do you take public transit? They say not a chance, unless they have to.
You're right. Even in the city of Saskatoon, it's a
Or
town
they
of
have no
under
choice.
300,000 people. For the city proper is under 300,000 people. And they're very loath. And let's also not forget that it wasn't that long ago. It was a little more than a decade ago that a mentally ill man sawed the head off of another man on a Winnipeg or on a bus bound for Winnipeg. And by the way, that person is in the public.
Yeah, he's out.
He is now. Yeah.
I actually know
They
people
studied him
involved
for
in
a
that.
while, and it was that right. I often wonder, you talk about the healthcare system, the mental health part of things. You know what? Everybody wants something done about it. Everybody so many people want help, all that kind of stuff. Is it that we just don't fucking know any more than we know now? And
I don't think so, Kurt. I
there's
think
nothing more that we
I
done?
think the
I don't know.
general public is very well aware of the mental health crisis in our country, and I think that it's twofold.
Okay, but I mean the
I think we are.
treatments and what to do about it.
I
Fair.
think there's an
Okay, sorry, I'm listening
overdiagnosis
now.
problem in this country too, though.
Absolutely, and
Well,
that's
a bit
one
of a
of
different topic.
that's one of the twofold that I think we are creating mental health problems where it doesn't necessarily exist
Correct.
societally and psychologically. And number two, I genuinely think that our mental health system is suffering from the same, again, two-pronged problem that the criminal system is suffering from. Number one is the revolving door syndrome. Because of budgeting and things like that, they're more concerned with revolving people through. And so the default is to release people back into public unless there is a very clear, and I mean a very clear, demonstration of danger to the public or themselves. And by the way, I can tell you from personal experience, danger to the public or themselves has to be within the last 30 days.
Wow.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
A judge
I was just
is
going to say, what is
loath-
the criteria, though?
Yes, it is within the last 30 days. A judge very rarely will consider an example of a danger to the public or others that is more than 30 days old. A week old is what I was told is preferable. And by the way, I was told this in the context by a lawyer who was representing the psychiatrists or the mental health system the last time that my brother appealed his mental health community treatment order. So I feel very confident in the accuracy of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, Chris.
And that wasn't the last time I was told it. I was told it by a social worker in the last several weeks because the problems with my brother are ongoing. So that is definitely a major part of it. And the second prong on that part is, frankly, HIPAA, the Privacy Act. It is the privacy of the individual and the rights of the mentally ill individual are more important. And when I say the rights, what I mean specifically is the consent and desires of the mentally ill individual. That's right. I mean the person who is dissociated from the fabric of reality in the commonly shared reality of the world. They are broken from that reality. And their desires within their broken reality are considered more important than getting them help, even if it is against their will.
Does that go back to my comment about academia a while back?
By and large, I believe that it does, Mike. I believe
Closely
that
related.
it does.
Yeah.
And you know, Yuka Kazi was opening up a little bit a while ago. He was saying something, you know, since you're opening up, I suffer from dissociative identity disorder and schizotypal disorder, schizotypal disorder is very similar to schizophrenia. The difference being that schizotypal disorder, people with that don't generally suffer from the hallucinations. That is the primary difference between the two, as far as I understand it. And I'm not a psychiatrist, but I fucking read, so I feel pretty confident that what I'm saying is accurate.
Whatever, Charlie, you didn't go to university.
Exactly right. And the point of me mentioning that. Oh fuck! Now I can't remember the point of me mentioning that because I got angry about people not believing what I was saying.
You're talking
Mental
about how HIPAA
Mental
and
health
the
system.
Privacy Act and how those with mental health, that's poor beliefs, their beliefs trump
I think I was
their
I think I
actual
was,
well-being.
I think I was specifically responding to Mike's comment about the education system. Oh, that's right. In Yuke's comments, he also said that he is atypical as a schizotypal individual and that he has a higher than average IQ.
Right.
My brother and I both were IQ tested. I was in grade 10 and he was in grade 12. Neither of us were doing well in school, and they wanted to put us in the special ed program. My mother, thankfully, was smart enough to realize that she had the right, before they could put us into that program, to have us IQ tested. I came out with an IQ of 117, which is not
Rookie numbers, Chris. Rookie numbers.
But honestly, that's not remarkably high.
Mm-hmm.
It is above average, but it is not remarkably high. And I mentioned what my IQ came back as because my brothers in grade 12 came back as an IQ of 137. That's Mensa level.
Jesus. All right. Yeah.
My mother kept. Here's what's interesting. My mother never kept my results. She remembered them because they were just above average, but they weren't exceptional.
Yeah.
My mother kept his results. And just a couple of weeks ago, she looked them up again because she couldn't remember whether he had tested at 127 or 137. She looked them up again and he tested 137. That is genius level IQ. And as a result of that, take it easy, 1AB. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
As a result of that, he very often talks circles around the people that are supposed to be evaluating him for his mental illness.
Right.
It is and he has convinced judges to grant his appeals for community treatment orders. He's convinced judges to grant him appeals for hold and treat orders. He goes to like the first step when you have somebody committed on a mental health warrant is they have to see somebody at a psychiatrist at an emergency room. Well, because our system sucks.
Isn't that kind of a quasi?
Fuck.
Isn't that kind of a quasi classic scenario?
Well, that's the first step, right? You see somebody at an emergency room, which is always a resident, Like they have no fucking experience whatsoever. And they're fucking dumb as shit. And they don't have no idea how to apply psychiatric principles, let alone anything else. And they're trying to
here for the
argue against
paycheck,
somebody
man.
who, although broken from reality, started out from a base point of 137 IQ. And by the way, grew up in a family that valued argumentation as a skill, which will come as no surprise if you guys have listened to me for a little while.
I'm lost, actually.
I can't believe that. One bit.
Yeah, no
we're,
shit,
we're
right?
building a resume right now, Chris.
I feel the smoke entering my butthole as we speak.
But he is okay. I turned this into a thing about my family, and I probably shouldn't be. But
We're this far. Like, don't half-ass it at this point.
well, let me
Keep going.
No, let me bring it back to.
I mean,
this
mental
guy.
health. Mental health is the topic. Again, that's how we got on this.
Mental
topic.
health care is non-existent in
This-
this country.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it is a very similar situation in the United States. It is lip service and bullshit and very little else. And that poor Ukrainian girl is dead because of it.
Well,
And many, many others.
I this may sound controversial, but I think we need to bring back institutions in a pretty hard way.
100% agree. I think that if you can
the old
demonstrate,
you don't have to do it like it's the 1920s. I'm sure there's some more modern techniques that can
absolutely.
be applied.
It's the same fucking argument as nuclear reactors, only we're talking about real people.
Oh,
here.
don't say nuclear.
That's so
Don't.
right. Yeah.
It's like 1950s horror.
Nuclear.
1950s horror from Hollywood has fucked our mental health system. And
It's not even
1950s sci-fi from Hollywood has fucked our nuclear program.
Right.
No, it's Chernobyl.
And
it's
and by the
100%.
way,
It's
1980s
chowder.
Chowder. By the way, 1980s action movies has ruined gun culture for everybody. Not gun culture, but gun laws.
Amen.
Mm.
It's like fucking politicians live their lives based on Hollywood movies.
That's why we can't have suppressors, even though they're
I
mandatory.
think there's a
in
real
France for
connection
hunting.
here that we're missing.
Mm.
Do you, Rooster? Really? We're missing that connection?
I do. We're groundbreaking today. First of all, we're drawing an entire life bio for you, Chris, and we're figuring out how Western civilization governs itself. It's all Hollywood. All of it.
It
Everything
is.
comes out of Hollywood. Look
It
at the
is.
Simpsons episodes and how they predict the future.
I know,
No,
right?
Motherfucker,
Simpsons is a law
this
of
Earth
averages.
is
You have that
flat.
many episodes,
It's
you're
all a
gonna have-
simulation, and we're run by the Simpsons.
Simpsons is a modern day Nostradamus. Make enough predictions and some of them are bound to come true.
Oh, don't even
Fuck yeah.
skip Nostradamus.
Nostradamus and the Mayans all wrapped up into the Simpsons.
Okay, this before we totally go off the rails, there's one thing about the Iryna situation that I want to bring up, and that is,
Okay.
just essentially, fuck, the word escapes me right now, but awareness in public.
Yeah.
Situational awareness.
Yeah, situational awareness. That situational is what I was looking for. Situational awareness is huge in public, but also another disturbing fact about that video was the public apathy, where essentially the other people on that bus froze or did nothing or had no even subtle attempts
Good shift, say,
to
Chris.
understand what went on. So that was also very disturbing to me. Is essentially she essentially died alone.
Yeah, it was horrible. Hey, I mean, it hit me pretty hard that it was very clear. She thought that he was like punching her or something. She didn't even feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The way she looked up at him,
Odd.
she had no idea
Yeah.
what was going on. And then she realized, and she saw her, you can see her, she looks down, she sees her own blood. She tucks her knees up to her chest and she covers her face and she's just
Right,
sobbing.
and then
She's
just
crying.
collapsed.
And 15 seconds later, she's unconscious. And within a minute after that,
Fucking amazing. Yeah.
God, it's hard to describe even. Is just so heartbreaking. I think both things that you talked about there, Derek, the awareness, the spatial awareness, the environmental awareness, and the lack of intervention are both symptoms of the same problem. We are a passive society. We have been bred into passivity. And when you are passive, when you are passive and incapable, you don't have the ability to do anything about it. We think that it's a natural human trait. It is not. The natural human trait is self-preservation. You have to be trained to assist others. I said this not too long ago. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about John Lovell and the Warrior Poet Society, and I don't agree with any of the religious aspects of the Warrior Poet Society, but I greatly, greatly respect one of their primary tenets, which is the protection of others and the preparation of the self for the purposes of protecting others. I can't count how many times I've heard John Lovell talk about the fact that he practices with live resistance hand to hand and practices on the range in addition to his prior Army Ranger training, primarily for the purpose of defense of others. I think they make them swear an oath, actually. Like the people like really within his organization, don't they make them swear an oath to the like the warden, the protection of others?
In regards to like the county, or
in regards to what?
In regards to the county or the organization? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The organization. I think that like it's one of their primary tenets is the swearing of the protection of others with their strength.
Yeah, defense of the weak. That tracks.
And I mean, that's a religious tenet as well. So that's not much of a surprise. It's one of the, it's not like I hate all religious tenets. I think that's a very noble.
It's tenet, Chris. It's not a person living in their basement suite.
What am I saying? What am I saying?
Tenant.
Oh,
there's no N at the end.
Tenant.
I'm not meaning to say tenant. But really, it is like a person living in your head.
What?
So maybe it is a tenant.
Understand it. I just got to shove it in your ass every once in a while.
I stand corrected. It is a tenet.
Indeed.
You see, you. LOL. Rooster beat me to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Uke and I are one.
Yeah. So what is the solution?
People need to relinquish some power in some areas.
I disagree. What do you mean?
It always starts with the individual.
Academics need to stop gatekeeping and let some other diversity of thought into the academic process. The police need to maybe consider that, you know what, Canada is not the same place it used to be anymore. Maybe civilians should start not taking matters into their own hands, but becoming more responsible for their own personal safety.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. 100%.
Because
and I think on an individual level, shoot. Become competent. Let me finish. Become competent with firearms. But that won't be difficult for our crowd. But at the same time, become competent hand to hand. The more familiar you are with violence, the less likely you are to overreact when you are faced with violence. People in the military know this absolutely. I've said this many times. I don't have any experience in the military. I believe this to be true only through my experience of talking to people in the military. but I firmly believe that this statement is accurate. Fighting, sport fighting, and self-defense training as an extension of that is life amplified. And if you are familiar with it, then life can slow down. And war is fighting amplified. And again, if you are familiar with it, life can slow down. I think the trick is if PTSD takes hold, that's a problem. But, barring that, I believe that that's true. And
You will fall back to your level of training. When you get that adrenaline dump, you will not that I've served and have no idea what any of that is part of, but from what I've heard, talk to people, you will like the reason people train is to fall back on that. So you're basically relying on gross motor function instead of fine motor function.
Yeah, and relying on your subconscious.
Like you don't have to think. It's like breathing. You just
what it is, you're relying on your instinct rather than your conscious thought. You're not relying on your reptilian brain. You're relying on your higher thought, and that is dramatically important.
Your lizard brain.
Yeah, the ability for your reptilian brain to engage is important, but I think what people misunderstand is that you can't entirely rely on the reptilian brain. I think people who are untrained, people who are unfamiliar with any level of violence, rely entirely on the reptilian brain. When the adrenaline takes hold, the reptilian brain completely takes over, and the tunnel vision is this wide, and you're not able to analyze your situation. And your response is entirely fight, flight, or freeze. And so many people freeze.
Right, only a response, no assessment involved at all.
Correct. People who are familiar with violence, and the more familiar, I believe, the more this happens. The more familiar you are with violence, the more your reptilian your reptilian brain will appropriately engage. And the more your higher brain function will stay intact so that you can analyze the situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say to add on to what Chris said is get first aid training, and not just St. John's Ambulance. Not that I want to crap on them, but go get Stop the Bleed or some more. Because we had off spec on, like, go get first aid training.
Yeah, because not only are you going to be your own first responder in all likelihood, but you are going to be other people's first responder in all likelihood, should you choose to be.
Yeah. And if you want to take it one step further, go learn some radio communication skills. Get your ham radio license.
Yeah, I think that's a cool, I actually like that idea. But nerd.
Okay, and to throw this out there, if you think the firearms community has their FUDs, ham radio FUDs are on like a whole nother level.
It's funny. I think most people in the firearms world have half of the equation. They've got guns and they think that that's the be all end all, and it's not. And the funny thing is, in the martial arts world and in the self-defense world, they think that they've got the be all end all, and they don't. It's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got tools. Yes.
Can you apply them?
Nobody knows until they're in the situation.
When he dies, wins.
That's true.
Nobody knows.
That's why I got those big toolboxes back there. Because you got to have a lot of tools in your box to be successful.
Derek's win of the race.
Title of Derek's sex tape. Nobody knows, Mike, what they would do until they were in an actual situation. I think that there's multiple, like there's a lot of layers to that onion. In some ways, I know exactly how I would react because I've been in critical situations before where people have thrown punches at me, where people have tried to throw punches at me. I've been in situations where I've been threatened, where I don't know whether the person has a knife or not. But I've never been to war, and I've always been able to avoid physical confrontation outside of my choosing. Although I've been punched in the face once and punched in the neck once, but I didn't hit them back.
Well, you didn't play hockey, Chris, so
Yeah, clearly, yeah. I didn't play hockey.
whatever, Nancy.
As a 15-year-old teenager who weighed 165 pounds at 6'5", I just fought 255-pound amateur bodybuilders as a hobby every week.
So did I, but those same guys had sharp blades and sticks.
and at least I knew they were trying to punch me in the face. You had no idea.
Yes.
Anyway, I think to bring this back, I mean, you can't blame the victim. This is a societal problem. You can't blame her for sitting in front of that guy. I can genuinely say I would never have sat in front of that guy. Just like my spidey sense went off before when I first watched that video, my spidey sense went off before I even knew what was happening. But
I sit at the back of the bus at sight, even the very back seat.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm fairly confident that I would have eyeballed that guy as I was walking onto the bus. And I would have either sat on the other side of the bus or one of the reverse seats, the seats that face backwards, so that I could see him, or behind him would have been the best option. Yeah. But this is a societal problem.
So many people are afraid of being labeled a fucking racist or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't be unkind to someone because of the way they look. So,
yeah. And by the same
token, it might have been her perception too, because again, coming from Europe. In Ukraine, where public transport is used by everyone and not just the lower caste of society, which tend to be problematic. Her mindset may
anyway you slice it though
that yet. So
right, anyway you slice it though, it was a mistake, and there's lessons here for other people. Unfortunately, a rough way to express a lesson.
Yeah. So I guess what are we deciding here, that our mental health systems actually need to change, and for the love of God, take responsibility for yourself. Jesus Christ. Your own safety, your own health. That's and that's what I wish people even on the right would talk about more. We love talking about the freedom aspect. Freedom, my personal freedom of this, freedom of that. We don't talk, and I'm not saying that people don't realize it. I know a lot of people do, but we don't talk enough about the responsibility that inherently has to accompany freedom. Because freedom without responsibility is anarchy.
Yep.
Yeah, freedom does have boundaries as much as everyone thinks that it shouldn't. It does.
And that boundary, the number one boundary, is personal responsibility, followed by societal responsibility. And mixed in there somewhere is ethical responsibility.
I said it before, it all starts with the individual.
The fuck is
somebody playing Candy Crush?
What's going on there?
Apparently my phone is blowing up.
You're
popular.
Is that what that weird
all right, fellas, listen, I'm
You have to do big things tomorrow.
I gotta get some sleep tonight. I gotta shoot tomorrow. You bet.
Yeah,
this has been an extremely stimulating conversation. I love this. I love going deep into stuff like this. And honestly, I think we should find more time to get into stuff like this. I enjoy it. A lot of it is kind of doom and gloomy Canada type stuff.
Well, we kind of did a little bit.
Well.
Mark Carney is the only politician that I'm aware of, the only prominent politician I'm aware of who has not condemned the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
He did about 10 hours later.
Oh, did he?
I think.
Are you sure?
A while. He might have. I know Naheed Nenshi didn't, but a lot of other people did.
Well, that's not a surprise that Nenshi didn't.
No.
Anyways, best of luck, Rooster.
Not at all. Fucking
Pick
dirtbag.
some targets.
Yeah, thank you
and,
very much. I'm gonna need it.
Hit
We're
some ass.
shooting late in the day, so it's gonna be real soupy out there. Real
Yeah, but if
soupy.
Matt,
Is there supposed
You'll
to be a
see.
storm tomorrow in your area?
I don't believe I haven't looked at the forecast now for several hours, but from what I can tell, it's supposed to be 28 Celsius, and the ground up here just pushes out mirage like you would not believe. It's a literal river running across there.
Yikes.
Yeah. So,
hold left edge.
We'll
You'll be
see.
Fine.
always left edge.
Yep.
All right, boys. Thanks very much.
Yep. Best of
Later.
luck.
Well, maybe we should
Take it from here.
put an exclamation
okay.
mark on the conversation for tonight. 2.5 hours is pretty long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a good haul. Yeah.
So you're right. Mark Carney did make the statement, "I'm appalled by the murder of Charlie Kirk. There's no justification for political violence, and every act of it threatens democracy." He wrote on X, "My thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, and loved ones," but he didn't do that until September 11th, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is kind of late.
But and realistically, it's not Carney's probably not doing it. It's his staff.
Fair. I mean, I'm trying not to be partisan about it. I think this is a testament to the two individuals, but Polyev had made multiple public statements about it before Carney made a single one.
Yeah. Well, look what your focus is on. It's on people versus. Has he made a decision that's actually had consequence yet that is positive, Carney?
Who, Carney?
He just said that the gun buyback is going to be voluntary, whichever that means. Which
That was a word salad interview.
It was. And most of his interviews are word salad, and we're taking them literally.
It was very deflecting to. I think that was definitely deflection.
Yeah.
Of what.
So
it
was Ananda Sandangari's response when he was interviewed crossing the street too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, same with Sean Fraser. Like all of them seem to be the Canadian distributor for Crapola.
Yeah. Yeah. Exclusive Canadian distributor.
They have what you call a real fertilizer face.
Bulk orders only.
Yeah.
Bulk orders only.
Yeah.
Well, Sean Fraser, we're finally doing something about bail after all of this tragedy that is, as far as I'm concerned, partially their fault, or if not the majority of it. Oh, now we're going to do something.
But they're also not doing something about bail because there are multiple recent high-profile events where the people are already out on bail.
And then to make the comment of that we're not the Wild West.
They are great at announcements. They are very good at announcements.
Or naming bills that are the exact opposite of what's in the bill.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you guys hear that Ian Runkle's house, there was an attempted break-in?
I had not heard that.
He did a video on, was it specifically? I can't remember what he titled it now. But he disclosed that while he was making this video about break-ins, ironically, somebody found his address on the internet and tried to break into his house.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't home. Thankfully, his wife wasn't home. But like a little bit too close to home, considering what happened a week later with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Just fucking leave public figures alone. Don't look for their home fucking address. Don't look for their fucking personal email. Don't look for their phone numbers. Don't start fucking stalking them. Leave them the fuck alone. Idol culture is as big a problem as anything else.
I think there's a commandment about that somewhere.
One of them, yeah. somewhere.
I think it's the first one. I think no false idols.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I do very strongly believe in most of the 10 Commandments, even though I don't believe in organized religion.
You know what's a fun thing about the 10 Commandments here? Thou shalt not kill is not actually what it's directly translated as. The
Right, that
correct
was a mistranslation from like Hebrew to Greek to English or something.
Yeah, because the true translation is thou shalt not murder.
Yeah. Well,
Not
because
everyone.
God kills people all the time.
I mean, it's the truest definition of fuck around, find out.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you could create life, you can also end it. So
Yeah.
if you're going on that.
And that is
If
the
you're
belief,
putting
yeah.
holes in things, learn how to plug holes in things and go get first aid training.
Same
Good first aid
concept.
training.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? I think I've said this on the show before too. I'm a big believer that there are worse things in this world than death. But death is not necessarily the same as murder.
Evil exists in this world, and I think a big problem is people on one side will say like, there is evil. It is a force out in the ether, and other people say it doesn't exist. It's all relative. Well, I'm of the
Disagree.
belief that there is evil in the world. It is
Absolutely.
You cannot
I do
quantify
agree
it.
with that.
You cannot ban it. It will exist forever.
I think a lot of when we talk about evil is shrouded in our, in not our, but a lot of people's ideology and in hyperbole. But I do absolutely believe with what you're saying, agree with what you're saying.
And because even in this, they were like, we need to ban assault rifles. I'm like, it was a bolt action rifle.
Well, we didn't even talk about this. Like, man, this was an actual high power cartridge. It was, 30-06 is an actual high power cartridge. And I'm really, really concerned about especially people like Natalie Provost calling for the banning of sniper rifles now. The word sniper is being thrown around in America by most of the mainstream media.
Which that's the closest thing they can relate to the general public. That's the only way they would understand it.
Yeah, well, they're fucking stupid. It was a fucking old model hunting rifle, and like a 200-meter shot is a chip shot.
Yeah, there was like, you needed to calculate for the angle and all this.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
But people were saying that, and people were quoting them as experts, and like, where are you finding these people?
I saw this post from the Instagram name is the Conspiracy Podcast. It's like, oh yeah, this had to be a professional. It's like, bro,
Nope.
you are the conspiracy. Like, it's in your head. Like,
yeah.
And it was funny because like the first 30 comments are like, bro, you're fucking out to lunch. 200 yards is not a crazy shot.
A dramatically average shooter. Let's call it like a more educated beginner shooter could make a 200-meter shot that would just end up low and to the right with a right twist barrel that is zeroed at 100 meters with a 30-06.
Well, I think 30-06, if you're zeroing in 100 yards, drop is going to be like 4 inches at 200. So, but also
shooting downward, you have less drop.
I didn't see a bipod on the rifle. So was he just both arms front support? Was he resting it on something?
Well, he was seen jumping off of the roof of the backpack, so could have been.
So you don't know
it's
how
all
supporting the front of the
it's
rifle.
all speculation. Right?
Yeah.
But the point is, he does not have to be even close to an expert to have made that shot with a 30-06.
No, that definitely myth busting the media there.
Yeah.
You do not have to be a trained sniper to make
and
that
I don't
shot.
believe for a second that he was aiming for the neck.
Mm-hmm. So
no. Yeah, well, it's kind of that first to get the story, but you have to get it right at the same time.
Yep. Tell the rest of the news media that.
Well, the thing, and I think a big reason why a lot of this is happening is when clicks equal ad revenue.
Yep.
That's a big part of it that people don't consider every time.
Oh, for sure. You just hit the nail on the head for why news media is bullshit. Because that's what they're concerned about. And when I say news media, I include influencers in that.
Yeah.
Well, us included in that too. Like we do a rifle review. We may not necessarily get it out first, but I want to say
But we
put a lot more
always
time
do
in-
it best.
Like, that's great that you got your first 200 rounds, and I'm not crapping on anybody that does this, because you get yours out first, you get the views, but
I am.
you got to put some time into it.
I'm crapping on them.
Mike's so good at putting time into reviews, he hasn't put one out yet.
Same goes for Kirk.
With that is, I am my own worst critic, and then I'll do something. I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to watch this because this is like 2009 cringe YouTube. I'm not putting that out there.
Definitely your own critic, your own worst critic.
Well, I watch a lot of YouTube, so I like, this is what I have a vision for, and then Mike's ability to do said vision is not there, and I'm like, I feel bad
You gotta
not
start
doing my
baby
best.
steps. Baby
I
steps.
I should go read more books.
You should
That's what
just
I need.
produce a video, and then the next video you say, I have to be better in this area for the next video. And
Eventually, you
baby
just got to
steps.
hit record.
It's like getting the next color belt and whatever the kicky punchy thing that Chris does.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to respond to that comment.
Is it inaccurate?
Um,
You know, it
and
was
No.
extremely.
in basics, no.
Exactly. I know that you do different differences like Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, and all that stuff. I just kicky punchy is just fun to say.
I mean,
That's all good.
that's kind of part
Like,
of
if
holding
you-
us,
if you
us
say, like,
accountable.
You want to do some kicky punchy in the basement? That sounds kind of cool. Like,
Well,
what is going on?
it's either that or do you want to do some involuntary laundry while you're still wearing your
Mhm.
clothes,
hmm
which isn't as cool, admittedly.
Can I do a
um,
quick segue?
Quick, and then we should probably log off.
Wrap her up.
E-
Well,
Even our hardcores are like, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah. Like, you guys are making me tired.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Can we talk about the York Chiefs statement that was not well received
You mean the one that he tried to backtrack on a couple of days later,
immediately after? Yes.
but didn't really backtrack on?
hmm
no.
Slightly backtrack.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He's the problem.
hmm
He and that attitude of call the RCMP, call the police, we'll keep you safe, is impossible. It is impossible, and it is fucking irresponsible for them to continue with that bullshit line of call the police. And comply is even worse.
hmm
Because all you're basically is, hey, every criminal, you can get away with it. Congratulations.
That's exactly what they're telling them. When he puts that out publicly, if you're a criminal, I'm thinking like, cool.
Yeah. And with the way the bail thing's going, you'll be out in 24 hours.
If you're a career criminal, even better. I can commit all the fucking crimes I want and still be on the street.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not the best timing, and it was not the best message during the timing.
But it's also not the first time that we've heard that.
Yeah.
We've heard it innumerable times, especially in the last 10 years. We heard
Well-
it first with the rural break-ins in Western Canada, primarily Alberta. We heard it with the Nova Scotia shooting. We heard it now with this fucking Lindsay, Ontario mess. We're hearing it too much.
The biggest thing is there's been more publicly accepted pushback against it.
Thank Christ for that.
Yeah.
Well-
it is no longer a fall in line. There's a lot more Canadians vocal about saying, no, that is ridiculous what you're saying, and we're going to do in fact the opposite.
Yeah. And you can't blame people.
Mhm.
Because they keep going back to, this is Canada, this isn't the Wild West. I'm like, you cannot coast on that laurel for that long. The reality on the ground has changed. You need to accept it and realize that what you're doing is not working.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
was gonna
it's a futile. It's futile to begin with, and they should know that. Police are there to clean up and investigate afterwards.
Yeah.
To claim otherwise is absolutely a false sense of security. It is irresponsible. And they should, honestly, I think that they should be held accountable for it. I think that people who the RCMP don't show up for, which is the majority, by the way, for people who the RCMP don't show up for, they should be able to sue at the minimum.
Like if you order a pizza and it's not there within 30 minutes, it's free. And you voluntarily pay for that.
But let's be honest. They say, oh, well, the average response time is 5 minutes. Well, look at the fucking Iryna case. How long did that take? Look at the Lindsay, Ontario thing. Like, I guarantee you that entire altercation from start to finish was less than 2 minutes. I guarantee it. There was there was an OnlyFans model who had multiple people break into her home like a month or so ago. Collier Noir covered it. And they tried to hold her at gunpoint to get her into her safe. And the whole thing from start to finish, which was this massive like compound, like millionaires compound, and even going from one building all the way across this compound to the other building, the police still didn't arrive. Do you know who drove off the attackers and stopped this porn star from being shot during this home invasion? Her husband, who was across the compound, who was talking to her on the phone, coincidentally, and he had enough time because he was across the compound to grab his handgun, and he shot one of them and the other two ran off.
Yeah.
And that's with average response time of 5 minutes. It's like if the average response time was 30 seconds, that's probably too late and still irresponsible to tell citizens to leave it to them.
Yeah, when seconds count, the cops are minutes away.
Exactly.
That's not cliche. That's reality.
Yeah. You need to learn how to use weapons, including firearms. You need to go join a fucking gym. Learn Muay Thai, learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, take MMA, and not just for a month.
Punchy things.
Learn kicky punchy things, not just for a month. That's not going to prepare you. You can't just shoot. Don't just have somebody take you out to the gun range once or twice. And I don't care if you like it or not. Do it because it might save your life someday.
If you want to learn some situationists, go play some paintball.
It's
I'm not even
100%.
kidding about that.
Yeah.
Especially they have like organized games where you get like 40 or 40 people on. You're walking through the woods. You want to learn about situational awareness. That's about as close to the real thing as you're going to get.
And if you're too sissy for paintball, at the very least, go play laser tag.
Yeah. Like anything where you have to
airsoft.
Keep your head on a swivel. Airsoft too.
But like everybody, honestly, like everybody listening to this episode, which is not enough people, but everybody who listens to this episode, and by the way, like everybody listening, we all know this. Our audience are shooters. The gun thing is covered. But you fucking people need to learn hand-to-hand combat. And now you don't need to learn fucking Tai Chi or traditional karate. You need to learn practical martial arts that are trained on a regular basis with live resistance.
Yeah. You're not Rocky. Hate to break it to you. You're not Rocky.
You don't even need to compete. Do it as a lifestyle skill.
It's a terrific way to stay in shape.
And like you don't have to like get a six-pack with it either. Like that doesn't need to be the case. Like this can be done relatively recreationally, and you don't need to become Gordon Ryan or Hodger Gracie or Tim Kennedy. But you need to be familiar, just like you need to be familiar with guns. You need to be familiar with combat and how it works.
Yeah. Be prepared.
But
being unprepared is entirely within your control.
Here's the reality of our world. I would pit most of my blue belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in grappling matches against 95% of police or more. And I would have no qualms that they're going to fucking smash them.
Yeah, because they don't train for it, probably.
They don't. Not all, clearly, but those that do take it on as their personal responsibility. It's not a part of their job. And it really
if it is, it's like we went for an hour seminar and then went for lunch like that.
Bro, I've taught those seminars. You're absolutely right.
I've been right a lot today, and I'm just guessing.
You're gonna have to write this down.
I'm gonna have to go buy a lottery ticket.
Anyway, if we're closing in on 3 hours, what the fuck? Okay, last thing. Kurt, for some reason, he was supposed to go to bed, but he texted or he messaged us this warning from the province of Saskatchewan. There is mandatory testing for bovine tuberculosis in the wildlife zones of, and CWD in the wildlife management zones of 37, 39, 43, 47, 50, and 55. So that's not cool.
No, CWD's been around forever. And the problem is the prions stay in the ground for like 20 years. So you drive over with your truck and there's dirt on your truck. And you drive to another part of the province. It's still on your truck and can start infecting things.
Yeah. So anyway, there's an alert for people.
I mean, we've been dealing with CWD in Alberta for quite a while already. So we're just used to it. But
yeah, well, unfortunately,
it's starting to jump into areas it's never been. So to anyone, I would advise you wash your truck a lot if you're going to be jumping around people's fields and stuff. Soil contamination is real. As much as people don't think it is actually quite a big deal. Because what's really bad for this is, oddly enough, people that rent like lawn aerators, if that doesn't get washed properly, if somebody has fungus or something in their yard, that will spread to everyone else who takes it. It's very easy.
Well, you know, I hunt in zones 54 and 53, and there are warnings in zones 50 and 55. So that's not cool.
And you could have deer that go eat a bale that's next to the cattle. Well, if something else comes and eats it, it is also going to be affected by it. And game farms are also kind of a problem. That's a whole separate issue we don't need to tackle in 9 minutes.
Let's do it in less than 9 minutes. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to our fucking ranting for the last 3 hours. We hope you guys enjoyed the show, and join us next week. And big thank you to all of our viewers, all of our sponsors, the whole shebang. I just noticed Yuka Kazi said maybe reread 1984, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, Animal Farm, and so on and so forth. Read them all multiple times. I think a combination between 1984 and Brave New World are most like what we're experiencing now. More Brave New World than 84. Hey, that's all. You guys want last word or what?
I'll chime in one last sentence. A few things. Don't do political violence.
Yeah, no
that's
shit.
Bad.
Yeah,
and
I don't care who you are.
I'll say, blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. So that's my don't do violence.
I have a quote.
Yep.
You ready for this one?
Yeah.
We must love them both, those whose opinions we share and those whose opinions we reject. For both have labored in the search of truth, and both have helped us in finding it.
I think that quote, unfortunately, is under a false pretense, because not all people nowadays have labored under the pursuit of truth.
Yeah, but
the rest of it I agree with.
What's
that?
That would Thomas Aquinas, that one.
Oh, simpler days, the old Roman Empire, hey?
And holy.
Yeah, the Holy Roman Empire. All right, guys, we will see you all next week. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy. Hasta la vista, hasta luego. And I don't know any other languages to say goodbye in.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome to your weekly dose of BS, the Ballistically Speaking podcast.